Prosecutors say prove their theft case against Melody Gliniewicz cannot be used at trial. Those texts between Gliniewicz and her late husband, Fox Lake Police Lieutenant Joe Gliniewicz, were found on his phone. Melody Gliniewicz was indicted after her husband committed suicide in September of 2015. She has pleaded not guilty to charges including siphoning money from a youth police program. Chicago aldermen are giving the green light to a pair of massive construction projects. City Council voting yesterday to approve $2 billion in property tax subsidies, TIF funds, for the Lincoln Yards project on the north side and the 78 project in Chicago's South Loop. Demonstrators filed through City Hall yesterday to protest those developments, saying there are better ways to spend tax subsidies. Mayor Emanuel said goodbye yesterday, presiding over his final City Council meeting as mayor.
The opportunity to serve with you, to serve the people of the city of Chicago, the greatest city in the greatest country on earth, the most American of American cities, has truly been the highest honor of my career.
A number of aldermen then took turns praising the mayor and his leadership, they say, over the past 8 years. Chicago police are investigating after a man was attacked at a Blue Line station in the Loop. It happened as the victim was beaten by 3 men last night, platform at the Jackson stop. No one is in custody. Service on the Blue Line is running again after a train derailed last night while arriving at O'Hare. Police are investigating a deadly mass shooting in Chicago's East Garfield Park neighborhood on the city's west side. 2 of the victims have died. A third person remains in critical condition. A hearing is underway for 4 Chicago police officers. They are fighting their dismissals following accusations they covered up a white officer's 2014 fatal shooting of Laquan McDonald. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson fired the patrol officers and a sergeant after a disciplinary investigation into Jason Van Dyke's fatal shooting of McDonald. Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot is preaching unity to Illinois lawmakers. Lightfoot paid a visit to the state capitol yesterday. Speaking to the Illinois House of Representatives, she believes Chicago and the rest of the state share many common problems that can be solved collectively without the bitterness that usually exists between the rest of the state and lawmakers in the city of Chicago and in Cook County. This morning, an Illinois man and his son have been charged in Michigan in an investigation into diseased body parts used for research and education. Donald Green Sr. is charged with wire fraud. His son, Donald Green II, is charged with knowing about the scheme but failing to report it. They were associated with Biological Resource Center of Rosemont, which provided those remains to medical professionals for a fee. Police investigating a deadly shooting in the south suburb of Calumet City. It happened near Sibley and Torrance. The victim hospitalized, later dying. No arrests have been made. A former South Suburban administrator is suing Rich Township High School, claiming she was fired for blowing the whistle on a relative of that district's superintendent. Adrienne LaCour says she was approached last month by a female student at Rich South High School, stating she was roughed up and harassed by a male student. The girl later added school leaders didn't do anything because the boy was related to the superintendent. 2 months later, that superintendent recommended LaCour be replaced. The Southern Illinois University Athletic Program is mourning the death of a Hall of Fame track coach who had a big imprint on the state. Lou Hartzog died at the age of 96 this week. SIU's current track facility, as well as the track at McAndrew Stadium, are named for Hartzog, who coached 70 All-Americans, 12 national champions, and at least a dozen Olympians during his nearly 30 years at SIU. Bowl season is over, thankfully, following a 125-109 loss to the Sixers. Both of our baseball teams are 3-8. Jordan Lyles struck out 10 in the Pirates' 5-2 win over the Cubs at Wrigley. Tyler Glasnow struck out 11 as the Rays swept out the White Sox with a 9-1 win. The Masters tournament gets underway today at famed Augusta National. Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player will be your honorary starters before the morning's first round. The news service of Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams April 12th through 15th and save 40% on paints and stains with sale prices starting at $23.09. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. See store for details and some exclusions apply. 5:09, check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Respectfully, if you can pull your head out of your Trump love right now.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The President of the United States should not be attacking a dead man. There's just got to be a certain level of decency that we expect from our president. If you want Trump to win in 2020, this kind of crap is going to kill it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
The kids grew up so fast. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years since you were playing catch in the backyard or showing your youngest around the kitchen. Lots of memories in this house. But maybe it's time to make new memories in a house that's more suited to your current lifestyle. McNaughton Development brings all the quality, style, and upscale details you love in your current home in a custom home that better suits your present needs. You don't have to scale down and sacrifice everything you love in the home where your kids grew up. With McNaughton, you get the highest quality custom residential construction with exclusive amenities. Right now, McNaughton is building Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge. It's a community with 44 home sites in the heart of the Burr Ridge Village Center, featuring 7 refined ranch and first-floor master 2-story floor plans. You can walk to the finest restaurants and shops in Burr Ridge and enjoy maintenance-free living in a park setting with natural lake. Visit them online, luxuryemptynester.com, to learn more about Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge and their other suburban communities. luxuryemptynester.com.
What is certainty? Certainty is the passionate commitment to fulfill every promise. Certainty is 4imprint, a caring, trusted team of promotional product experts, minding every detail to ensure your logo will look perfect on everything from apparel, drinkware to trade show traffic stoppers and hot tech, all delivered on time, every time, with the promise of your satisfaction guaranteed. So, what does certainty bring? Promotional items exceeding expectations, a buzz of excitement for your team and your customers, a pep in your step, a fist pump, a whoop, a tingle, a grin, a laugh, or even one quiet word that no one will ever hear. Yes! Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. That's the number 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
You might not be able to get a new car with your tax refund, but you can make your car feel like it's brand new. All it needs is a great paint job. Come in to Maaco today and get your dream paint job during their tax season sales event.
5:11. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
On I-65 this morning, traffic is heavy northbound from 109th Avenue to 101st Avenue. There's ongoing construction on the Indiana Toll Road between 20 and East Chicago. Klein Avenue, actually continuing to the state line. We're not seeing significant delays there right now. In the Kennedy, reversibles should be opening soon on the inbound side. We're not seeing delays on the Kennedy at the moment. The Eisenhower's looking good. Same goes for the Stevenson and the Ryan. I-57 has ramp closures at Polstead. There is construction in that area. Again, traffic still fairly light. Bishop Ford Freeway is looking good. The Tri-State has construction northbound from Sanders to Deerfield Road. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
A lakeshore flood advisory in effect this morning. It'll be cloudy and milder, shower and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Windy day, high 58. Clouds and breezy. Thunderstorms could be heavy early tonight, low 46. Clouds and breezy tomorrow, the high 52. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
37 O'Hare, 39 Lakefront. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy is next, and with Dan and Amy and listeners in Mexico. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Ding, 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 ding. Good morning, Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. And, of course, the breaking news. And I hate when there's breaking news because then I have to adjust to it. And
at least nobody died and we have to pretend we like them.
Well, Julian Assange has been arrested. You know, he was holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for, 6 or 7 years now. And finally, Ecuador kicked him out and he was arrested. I just saw a video of it. And I'm not going to say he was dragged out.
Oh, he was dragged
like Dr. Dow was from the
no, not that bad
from the airplane. But it does look like
he was dragged like a Democrat away from a free meal.
Yeah, he was resisting it a little bit, and maybe there'll be extradition and he'll come over to the United States. Now, of course, he I don't know. I guess we probably can't execute him, but because he's. You know, the problem is in recent years he's become a hero to the Republicans because Sean Hannity would have him on and just eat up all the stuff that he had on Hillary Clinton. But I mean, goodness, the guy published cables and sensitive diplomatic correspondence.
Good.
Oh, of course it is. Because,
good.
You know, you're Sean, and I say this in the most charitable way I possibly can.
Hit me.
You're off your nut. I mean, you can't do that.
Why do you want to sequester yourself from information? I am always amazed.
All information is good. Nothing should be confidential.
Correct.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I want to. Let me see all your emails.
When it comes between a government and citizen, yes.
What do you mean? A government and citizen, there is no reason. There's no. I mean, this is so elementary.
Well, you'll have to forgive me. I've never adopted the philosophy that people are better than me in our government. I'm sorry.
I never. What does that mean? That means nothing. That is a senseless statement that you just made.
Only somebody with a slave mentality would feel that bureaucrats are somehow better than they are to handle secret information. I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
No, look.
Don't believe it.
If you're saying to me, and I'll try to look at the case that you're trying to make in a light most favorable to you, nonsensical as your opinion is, yes, there is corruption in government.
No, that's not.
Obviously, there are people in government, therefore, and people are very human and capable of sin, and obviously anything can be abused. But we need confidentiality in government. You don't think there should be diplomats then? You don't think that there?
Here's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Redacted information is specifically used to create a direction of propaganda to enrage or control the citizen. So, in other words, what I am saying to you.
Well, I didn't understand that. That sentence didn't parse for me. But go right ahead.
Why, as a citizen, would you accept redacted information?
Because there's sensitivity.
Who
have
gets
to redact.
To see it?
Do you want? We need spies. You know, for example, we need the spies who spied on on the Trump campaign and the
I don't think we do.
by the Obama administration. But we'll get to that at some point.
I think the atrocity of Barack Obama controlling government, directing government, and bureaucrats with a political agenda is as pervasive in the Trump era as it was in the Nixon era. I believe that the information that was redacted to promote and stoke the Vietnam War was as detrimental to America as the information that was redacted
and of course you believe
to the Iraq War.
And of course you believe that Bush lied and people died. And why don't you just go vote for the Democrats?
I believe they all lie, and what I want
Nobody
is the
ever
information.
tells the truth. Nobody ever makes a mistake. I mean,
I don't believe that we can designate politicians to be the conscience of a country.
Okay.
Because
you know
they
what?
are
you
the
know what?
scum among
you
us.
You do your little Liberty Hour show.
I do.
And you just go ahead and do that in your little vacuum and do your podcast that's listened to by 5 people. And you go ahead and do that.
And
I've got a show right now that's listened to by 10 people.
And you're promoting the ignorance is bliss slave mentality that gets us to be the sheep and the cattle driven off the
I
the
don't
cliff.
trust government. I'm in favor of what
You just
Attorney
said you
General.
do.
I'm in favor of what Attorney General Barr did yesterday, which he said that there was spying, and he wants to check whether there was the justifiable predicate for the spying. But he certainly let the cat out of the bag yesterday when he said this.
You're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred.
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
So,
well, let me.
But the question is whether it was predicated. I think there was probably a failure among a group of leaders there at the upper echelon.
A failure among the group of leaders there in the upper echelon. So he's telegraphing, he's saying he's come to the conclusion that there was unjustified spying. There's justified spying and there's unjustified. And he's saying right here, he's got the goods on them. He's saying this right now.
why are you so favorable in the rat race? You just want your rat to win.
No, that's not true.
Of course it is.
Absolutely, it's not true.
This is ridiculous that we pretend there wasn't spying by Barack Hussein Obama and his administration at the direction of the Democrat at the time president to keep an eye on the Republican. Everybody knew that Barack Obama wanted the Duchess of Chafington to win, and he would have done anything for it.
I think,
and you're phony. It's phony outrage.
And I agree that that may very well be true. I don't know yet for a fact, but it seems to be tending in that direction. You're saying that everybody's corrupt all the time, and I'm saying there's a lot of corruption. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Pardon my Lord Acton. But the problem is that you still need secrecy in government. Otherwise, you may as well not even. Are you nuts?
Nobody
are you crazy?
Nobody
You think Julian
gets to
Assange
manipulate
is a hero?
information.
You think he's a hero?
I don't think he's a hero.
Why
I think
don't
what
you
he's
join
doing
him in
should be done by
Guantanamo right
everyone.
now?
Nobody
All right.
is above you.
Let's go to Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hey, man, how you guys doing besides squabbling?
That's okay. I'm going to miss Sean. He's going to be gone after today.
I will miss him. Hey, Sean, absolutely right, man. Why? I think we should have like a citizens advisory board. Cycle people every couple of years. Let them be the liaison between these crooked politicians and the general public. Bring it all to light.
You have to recognize
Thank
to
you,
me,
Andy.
can I just get a word in edgewise?
Go
here?
right.
You
go
have
right
to
ahead.
recognize the flaw of humanity. And in order to shed light on it, you do not give people the power to redact information. Give us all the information. Let me decide.
There should never be any redacted information.
Who's above me? This fat slob because he's a Republican,
There should
or the
never,
other fat
so
slob
your
because he's a
statement
Democrat?
is that we should
Nobody.
never redact any information.
Not to know. That's
never.
the principle
None.
of America.
Absolute.
Yeah.
Never redact
I have a
anything.
representative.
So in other words, if we've got a spy out there who we're trying to use to infiltrate a communist government and help bring them down,
I'm not a good slave.
Then we should out them.
Listen.
And we should say, here are our spies. Go ahead and kill them.
I'm
the
not
KGB.
a good slave.
I mean,
you would be a good
you're-
slave.
You're doing a comedy act,
No, I'm
aren't
not.
you?
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
you're out of your cotton picking mind.
Who gets to be
You're
above Bruce?
crazy.
What scares me is you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, and you're advocating that there are gods among men in America.
No, I'm not
Yes, you
advocating
are.
that there are gods among men. I know that people are corrupt, but this is an absolutely stupid discussion. I've been in a lot of stupid discussions in my life on the radio, and I'm ready to walk out of here right now. You can do the next 3.5 hours by yourself,
Please?
buddy.
Here.
Please do it, and please smoke your cigar here,
Here, I'll
and
give you the
asphyxiate
staff
on it
to get out. Go
All right.
ahead.
Craig from Mount Greenwood. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Sean and Bruce. Good to talk to you guys. Listen, this thing, Obama was putting this thing together a long time ago, all the way back to Benghazi and the IRS with Loretta Lynch and all stuff like that. He took about 24, they mentioned the other day, 24 people that came out of the liberal newspapers and everything that hired them and put them into all these different high-level positions with law enforcement and everything like that, to be all little puppets.
Sure.
To destroy
I don't
this
disagree.
place.
I don't disagree with you on that, Craig. Thank you so much. Appreciate the call. I'll give you an amen, a high five right there.
Republican.
All right, we have to take a break right
Oh.
now. Because I've got a memo here. I'm going to redact a couple of the names.
Yeah.
Marcus Brown,
you don't get
program
to do it
director.
either. That's all right. Give me the information.
Jeff Reisman, general manager.
Nobody gets to control my
their
information.
Names. They just told me I have to go to commercial right now.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Feeling sore from working out hard, maybe doing some spring cleaning, or do you want to boost your immune system? Well, if either of those are interest you, then you should try Balance of Nature. It is 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. No preservatives, no dyes. And you hear the testimonials here on the air all the time, and let me tell you, they are real. Okay, folks? And the price of fruits and veggies is about to go up, but if you call or go online right now, you can lock in your price for the fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order, but you've got to use the promo code Chicago. Use that when you call, and the number there is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last time you ever have to worry about hair loss, because Bosley is the real deal. They're giving women and men their hair back permanently, their real hair. All it takes to get started is a single text message. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you text TRUST to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. You'll also see, for free, why you're losing hair and how to get it back. Women and men all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert, ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part? Bosley has permanent solutions to hair loss. You'll love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to send a text. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting TRUST to 85850. Don't forget, that's TRUST to 85850.
Hi, my name's Ken, and I own Good Start Packaging in Bedford, New Hampshire. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. And last year, that added up to $36,000 in cash back. That's right, $36,000. Thanks to that, I was able to offer health care to my employees. The Spark Cash Card did a lot for my business. Imagine what it could do for yours. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers paid for real stories. Credit approval required.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial
There's
3.
no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
Another school year is about to wrap up, and you need to start thinking about what activities your son or daughter will be involved with during summer break. You want them to have fun this summer, but at the same time have some structure to be prepared for the next school year. Introduce them to St. John's Northwestern Experience in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin with summer OPS, opportunities for personal success. 5 intensive weeks of learning and training. Young men and women grades 7 to 12 get an opportunity to advance academically in the structured and supportive environment of a military boarding school, and at the same time be involved in an exciting summer adventure camp that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, leadership skills, spiritual and character development, and athletics and wellness. Camp St. John's Northwestern for your son or daughter with full boarding or day camp programs. Get more info at 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET or online at sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
This show is interrupting my tweeting. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. I was about to tweet, if you're not listening to AM 560, The Answer right now, you missed an incredibly stupid discussion between me and Sean Thompson about government secrecy. Julian Assange, by the way, was arrested in London right now. Can I just play a soundbite right here? And so we can get to, this lit up the switchboard.
Go ahead.
Right here. Okay.
While we're on that subject of the Judiciary Committee, let me just say how very, very dismaying and disappointing that the chief law enforcement officer of our country is going off the rails yesterday and today. He is the Attorney General of the United States of America.
Spit it out, drunk.
Not the Attorney General of Donald Trump.
That is Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. This really shocked the Democrats and the media yesterday because it was all about the fact that Barr used the word spying, whereas a guy like Charles Lane, who's on special report panel, the Washington Post reporter, he says he should have said surveillance. What's the difference between surveillance and spying? It's spying. That's what Barr is accusing the Obama administration of having done. No question about it. Can we go to Tony?
Go to
Sean?
whoever you want.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, good morning, Bruce. And how you doing there, Sean? Listen, Sean, Bruce, I take a little umbrage with the fact that you're calling the conversation stupid. I thought it was kind of enlightening. It made me think a little bit about what Sean was saying and what you were saying. However, in order to really judge a man's opinion, I got to understand what cigar he smokes. So, Sean, I'll be stopping by your place sometime this week. Share a cigar. You let me know when you're there.
All right.
Get to meet you in person.
All right. Do we have
But here's
anything
the
of
thing.
substance, Tony? Because time is so valuable
listen,
here.
You got to
listen,
agree with
listen to the line.
Bruce, or
Listen
it's
to the
not
line.
substance.
Yes, I got substance. I got substance.
What is the
Waterman.
substance? Yes, thank you.
That clip you just played.
Yes.
It's obvious that Nancy Pelosi's brain is dried up like her hoo-ha, right?
Hey,
Here's the thing.
oh, my God.
She is saying
Hit
this.
the
She's saying
delay.
that The Attorney General is for the people of the United States of America, not Donald Trump. Wasn't Donald Trump an American citizen? That's all I got to say.
Actually,
Have a good day, guys.
technically, where did I read? Thanks so much, Tony. The Attorney General is both the attorney for the president and the country. It's a little more complicated.
I have to say something,
yeah,
Bruce, if
go
I
ahead.
could just get
No,
out a
please
sentence.
do. The floor is yours.
What you show me is
Mhm.
exactly the argument I had with the girl who's your friend yesterday, and it's exactly
Julie
really,
Kelly.
It shines a light onto everything because basically what you're saying, if I understand it, is that you do believe there are men above you who should have information you do not have.
I don't believe
And
they're above
Hold on
me.
a minute.
I don't believe they're above
wait
me.
a minute. You said you'd let me finish.
Go right
And
ahead.
you are comfortable with having these gods among men as long as they're Republicans, right?
No.
So I have a
No,
question.
the answer is no.
I asked you and the fresh out of diapers kid in there who likes being a cradle to grave child. Why have a First Amendment if you're comfortable with people in government having the power of redaction? Why do you have a First
of all,
Amendment?
now that is another one of your statements that will take about 3.5 hours to try to parse, and we will be unable to do it. It's a non sequitur. You say, why have a First Amendment? Well, there's lots of reasons to have a First Amendment because we cherish robust and spirited debate, and it's
not about
it's
debate.
vouchsafed by the Constitution of the United States. That doesn't mean you don't. It's not absolute, and that doesn't mean that you don't have redaction. So, but we'll carry on the discussion after this. Now we're going to exercise our First Amendment by having the news from Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
I have redacted letters at home from my late father-in-law, who served in World War II.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There were 155 million redacted letters.
And how much information was controlled by our government so our people were unaware of what
It was
happening?
controlled by the post office to keep guys who wrote troop positions into their letters.
Sure.
Admittedly, probably by accident. That was snipped out. What they did, they took the letters and they shrunk them down onto microfiche, what was then microfiche, in Europe, sent them back here. So they took 37 bags a day of letters down to one bag, sent them back here. They were redacted in D.C., then sent to the family.
But of course, but according to Sean,
We had that in
there
common
shouldn't
with
have-
the Nazis
There
then.
shouldn't have been
They
any.
redacted
There shouldn't have been any
information,
redaction, and we should have telegraphed to the Nazis the Normandy invasion.
No, that's hiding
what
under
we
a
should have
cloak.
done.
That's hiding under a cloak of information, and you've made it so that Assange can't release what our NSA does to us.
The Nazis.
I want to know what they do to me.
Eisenhower is launching. Is going to be at Omaha Beach tomorrow.
Because the NSA, they're good
Yes.
people.
Thank you so much, Mike. Go ahead and do the news, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is under arrest this morning, arrested by British police inside the Ecuadorian embassy this morning after spending the last 7 years holed up there. He did not walk out of the embassy. Instead, Ecuador invited in authorities to the embassy where they took him into custody. Attorney General Bill Barr's comments that the FBI spied on the Trump presidential campaign in 2016 is turning heads in Washington.
I think spying on a political campaign is a big deal.
One of those heads spinning, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Is the Attorney General of the United States of America, not the Attorney General of Donald Trump.
Barr says as head of the Department of Justice, he has an obligation to make sure government power is not abused by anyone. The nation's midsection battening down the hatches. Blizzard warnings are in place as the storm sets its sights on the central and eastern U.S. with heavy snow. Some parts of South Dakota could get 2.5 feet. Former White House counsel Gregory Craig expects to be charged in the coming days for legal work he did on behalf of the Ukrainian government in 2012. Craig served in the Obama administration but worked for Paul Manafort. The suburban Sleepy Hollow man accused of attacking two of his neighbors is due in bond court this morning. Fabian Torres, according to prosecutors, stabbed and sexually assaulted a 19-year-old woman before stabbing her 17-year-old brother. Another group of Chicago charter schools could be headed for a strike. CTU announcing yesterday members voted to authorize a work stoppage at Instituto Health Sciences, Career Academy, and other leadership academies and schools for fine arts. West Suburban Naperville man is a big winner on Jeopardy! James Holzhauer broke the single-day winnings record by winning more than 30 grand. The Naperville North grad says he prepared for Jeopardy by reading informational children's books. Bulls fell to the Sixers last night. Mercifully, the season is over. Both of our baseball teams are 3-8 after the Pirates win over the Cubs 5-2 and the Rays win over the White Sox 9-1. 5:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains how things are getting better in America.
You look at the after-tax income of the top 1% since 79, and it's grown impressively, but so has the growth of the bottom of the country also grown. And as a result of falling prices here in this country, more Americans have more income left after basic expenses. Things are getting better in America.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Come on, kids. We're late.
Honey, the car won't start.
Mom, the dog just sat on my science project.
Life can be stressful, but getting life insurance shouldn't be. That's why there's Ethos. Ethos is a modern kind of life insurance that's super fast, incredibly affordable, and very uncomplicated. At GetEthos.com, there are no medical exams for policies covering under $1 million, no hours of paperwork, or meetings with pushy representatives. It only takes 10 minutes to apply, and you can rest assured knowing you've taken steps to protect your family. And in most cases, with Ethos, you can have that peace of mind for less than a cup of coffee a day with no hidden fees. Having life insurance can free you from stress. Getting life insurance shouldn't cause it. Discover how uncomplicated life insurance can be at Ethos. Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to GetEthos.com. That's ETHOS. GetEthos.com. GetEthos.com.
5:37. Check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Telemonte.
In Lansing, we have a report of a head-on crash on Torrance at Thornton-Lansing Road. Romeoville and Bolingbrook starting today. Daily work begins on Weber Road at I-55, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. Edens looks good. Kennedy as well. Express lanes are open inbound. The Eisenhower has no delays yet. Mount Stevenson's getting a little congested around Pulaski. Inbound Ryan has a 2-minute delay coming into downtown. Bishop Ford, 2 or 3 minute delay approaching the merge. I-57 has some road work outbound at Halstead and between 169th and Cicero. We're not seeing delays. There's some morning work on the Tri-State, no delays there. The other tollways look good. Northwest Indiana, too. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Windy, cloudy, mild this afternoon with a couple of thunderstorms that could pop up, high near 58. Some damaging winds and maybe some heavy storms as we balance right on the edge of snow and bad weather to the north and a little warmer air to the south, low 46 overnight. Those storms could pop up late and a high of 52 tomorrow. 37 right now. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Well, Sean Hannity's going to be happy today because his friend Julian Assange, well, he's not going to be happy. His hero, Julian Assange, has been arrested. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Sean, you had
I just
you
want
have
to
the floor.
finish. I just want to finish this.
Yeah.
I think our outrage in politics today is that we learn about the bureaucrats that have been in control of this information that some people are very happy getting on a trickle basis at best, and sometimes not getting it all. What's outrageous about all of this, and the real fight and the real support for Donald Trump should be the idea that we've allowed bureaucrats such as David Orr. You know, I said to you on Monday.
Not David Orr.
What's his name?
David Orr is the Cook County clerk.
Oh, what's this guy's name?
Bobby Orr, griddle number 4 at the Boston Bruins.
The Asian guy married to that two-legged.
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
Married to Nellie.
The Scarecrow.
Yes.
And I said to you on Monday, and I mean this, never take advice from a guy who marries an ugly chick, because that shows you that your decision process, process isn't good. Now I'm going to give this guy. He gets to control the information above me. This is why.
The kernel of information in there is that you cannot trust
the judgment of another man.
Of another man.
Period.
It's you judge it based on the quality of the looks of his wife.
To me, this
and that makes perfect sense.
This is the beauty of America. We're supposed to be of, by, and for, right? We have a First Amendment. There's a reason it's number 1. It's the information doesn't get to be controlled to me. That's why we have the First Amendment. Freedom of the press.
Do you think the First Amendment is absolute? Do you think the First Amendment is absolute?
Oh, you're going to get me to fire in the theater.
Exactly.
Come on, what do you think you're co-hosting with one of these
say.
other girls? This is me you're talking to. I want to have a substantive debate.
There should be no secrecy whatsoever. We should have published, we should have told the Nazis that we were going to be invading Normandy.
If my government
on June
gets
the
to
5th,
control
1944, we should have said that.
If it gets to control the information I have, then it gets to ultimately control my perception of reality. It gets to dictate and propagandize me in order to invoke a reaction they want from me. I don't think that the politicians or those who work in the bureaucracy, which, number 1, are people who can't get a real job in the real world, or they're recruited from the military, which means they already have that mindset of a slave.
So do government workers, male government workers, who obviously aren't fit enough to work in the private sector, what do their wives look like?
I don't know. But here's the one thing I can guarantee you. I'm never going to put them in a position to make a decision for me. That's the rule. I make the decisions. I get to have the information to make the ultimate base of my opinion on the issue, on the topic. Otherwise, listen to me. What you're advocating.
You realize I stopped listening 4 minutes ago.
Of course I do. I could see it in your face.
I know you're doing a soliloquy, Hamlet.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
not a soliloquy. It's truly about a fundamental basis of what your principle is. I don't want gods walking above me as government. I don't. I believe that they're supposed to represent, not rule me. I'm arguing with the kid in there. He's a child. He likes having a cradle-to-grave life. He believes there are better people among us. I believe there are not. So that's all I'm saying.
You are Sean. Hear you roar. Yes.
It's important.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Are you done?
Go
now?
ahead. Go ahead.
Are you
Tell
okay
me how
now?
I'm not privy to information. Go ahead.
No, there's a kernel of truth to what you say there.
Dude, you're talking trillions of dollars are in control.
There's
trillions.
a kernel of truth. Can we go to some of the other?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm sitting in the studio right now with a guy who used to be just one of these callers. He just used to be one of these callers.
And I'm pro-information, yeah.
Here, who should we go to, Sean? Which caller should we take?
Let's go with Randy.
Randy. Hi, Randy from Sandwich.
Oh, I'm so glad you picked me, Sean. Bruce, do me a favor. Can you play referee here? Because the whole city of Chicago knows how well Sean likes to let the caller get any words in. Sean, this morning when I listened to the radio, I thought I was listening to Mancow or Joe Walsh for a minute. Either you smoked a lot of weed or you believe the earth is flat. Either way we slice this, I'm going to quote Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. All right, there's certain things that we cannot just let willy-nilly people know. The system that we're in is not, and I'm a big constitutional believer.
Sure you
but
are.
the system
Sure
we're
you are.
in is we're not in like the days of the forefathers. We're in a very, very tricky, like global spying. Everybody's got to have the edge, and there's certain things that we just cannot let out because if we do, we lose our edge, and we're not able to fight the good fight.
There you go.
Randy, thanks so much.
Now, maybe Randy's too stupid to handle it, and he sounds like he could be. But I'm not, and I don't even believe the kid in there in his mom's yoga pants that he is. I think that the information is to be digested. I have respect, though, for everybody. I believed in that whole nonsense, and I will not accept these buffoons as rulers above me. But Randy, you know what? You probably should. And that's the truth. What he's basically saying is stupid people can't handle information. And I think he represented them very well.
All right, have you gotten this out of your system?
Take them all. I want them all like this.
Who do you like in the Masters today?
I couldn't care less. What are you going to root for, Rory? Give me Tiger. I'll take Tiger.
Rory looked pretty good, although he was up against, as you probably saw in the WGC Dell against Tiger, that match. He kind of screwed the pooch, and Tiger got to advance to the next round. Tiger's game is a little bit off in every area from the way it was from 10 or 11 years ago, but it's still good enough to win. I think Rory's going to get the career Grand Slam.
What about the kid sleeping with Gretzky's daughter?
Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
Who, according to people that I've talked to, is the proverbial dumber than a box of rocks.
No kid.
But boy, can he hit a golf ball.
Fascinating. And I'm going to spend a minute of my life watching this. Go ahead.
Well, I think we should just do Masters coverage all morning because we could pick up the slack from where Gary McCord was years ago. You know, he was kicked off the Masters broadcast because he described the 16th green as being bikini waxed.
Yeah,
I say we bikini wax the other 17 greens at Augusta National today.
Any sport that would allow the mass wearing of Zanzibar pants, it doesn't get my attention.
They still do that. All right, we've done our calisthenics this morning. We've gotten, the fringes of your opinions because you're mainly sane. You mainly are, but everybody's got their craziness. Everybody believes, we're all like Dan Proft.
I make a terrible slave.
Even
That's
a sane man like Dan Proft, we all are entitled to our conspiratorial beliefs. He believes that Jay Cutler tanked in the second half of the NFC title game against the Green Bay Packers. The guy had a knee injury.
It's only because Dan Proft had the over in a parlay.
Well, he just believed that Jay Cutler should have rubbed some dirt on it and gone back into the game. So we're all birthers and truthers.
Luckily, I didn't waste my time watching.
And extremists like you in one manner or fashion. And I'm sure it'll all come out of me, and I won't sound so sane over the next 3.5 hours. But enjoying our little term and I'm going to miss you.
Oh,
You're not going to be here
I'm
tomorrow.
going home to Florida.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with Us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with Us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with Us. Coverage for the things that matter most.
With spring in full swing, it's time to think about your sump pump. And don't forget a battery backup. Important stuff. Just as important is who you contact for help, and that would be Permaseal, of course. If you have a sump pump, it needs to be checked to make sure it's working properly. A battery backup is your safeguard in the event of a pump failure or power outage. Remember that all sump pumps fail. It's not a matter of if, but when. Independent lab results show that Permaseal battery backup systems are your best value in backup sump pump protection. Since 1979, Permaseal has been providing dry, healthy basements and crawl spaces to over 400,000 homeowners all over Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Get the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement or crawl space. Call 800-421-SEAL to schedule your free, no-obligation inspection. If you're concerned about your sump pump system, you know who to call. Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or go to permaseal.net.
What would you be willing to spend to make an often frustrating aspect of your business run smoothly, perfect, hassle-free? Yep, talking about IT, networks, computers. Sure, it would be great to hire an entire IT department, but that would be expensive. There's salaries, benefits, space for new employees, equipment. Nope, not going to happen. Or could it? For only $7.95 a month, you can make your IT issue a thing of the past with Turnkey IT. Just like your own in-house IT department, but better. Turnkey makes it happen. They make it secure, and they make it smart. You'll be set up for success and in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey becomes your IT department and help with all your daily IT issues, plus preventative steps to keep your business going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know where you stand with your technology.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro. As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
When you hire a new employee, do you really know who you're hiring? What if you could do thorough research on potential employees and avoid future HR conflicts and trouble? It may sound like a daunting task, but with ETS Intelligence LLC, it's easy to get all the info on a potential hire. ETS is one of the leading private detective and security agencies in the U.S. Their client roster includes major law firms, insurance companies, high net worth individuals, and more. Our world can be a dangerous place to live and do business in. ETS Intelligence makes you safe by specializing in complex and high-tech investigations, background checks, computer forensics, surveillance, forensic accounting, and more. Let ETS Intelligence be the vetting intelligence agency for your company or business. They also provide personal security services. ETS Intelligence LLC, owned and operated by experienced active duty law enforcement. Call toll-free 800-230-7429. 800-230-7429.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
The kids grew up so fast. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years since you were playing catch in the backyard or showing your youngest around the kitchen. Lots of memories in this house. But maybe it's time to make new memories in a house that's more suited to your current lifestyle. McNaughton Development brings all the quality, style, and upscale details you love in your current home in a custom home that better suits your present needs. You don't have to scale down and sacrifice everything you love in the home where your kids grew up. With McNaughton, you get the highest quality custom residential construction with exclusive amenities. Right now, McNaughton is building Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge. It's a community with 44 home sites in the heart of the Burr Ridge Village Center, featuring 7 refined ranch and first-floor master 2-story floor plans. You can walk to the finest restaurants and shops in Burr Ridge and enjoy maintenance-free living in a park setting with natural lake. Visit them online, luxuryemptynester.com, to learn more about Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge and their other suburban communities. luxuryemptynester.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. So, Sean, did you see that they had the first photographs ever of a black hole? I can't even get out the line. So, and apparently,
I'm not getting in trouble, even though you want me to. I'm not going to do it.
It's this black center. This is a circular thing, black, and then it has like a corona around it. And if you look very carefully, you can see Malaysian Flight 370, which is because Don Lemon, if you recall, said that it was there.
I thought the photograph of a black hole was the Chicago budget.
Hey. Oh, there you go. See? You scared me. I was ready for the third time this morning to hit the delay. Pardon my Jimmy Shorts. So there you go. Meantime, at Rahm Emanuel's last city council meeting.
Ta-da!
And I think that Amy Rule was there, and she actually was his wife. And she wasn't. Rahm, we got to take our daughter to Romania for her bat mitzvah. What is the $15 million for? Yeah, I
hate when they parade their spouses around. I really do. Although it's
Rahm Emanuel.
Who knew Grady Preckwinkle was married to a fella? Found that out recently.
Oh my God,
Zeus, handsome son of a
His
gun
name
that he
is
is.
Zeus?
Zeus, do you ever see him?
What I love, I'm partial to that because
And it's
I
funny
love the
'cause
Greek mythological names.
The
yes.
beard didn't actually have a beard, which I found fascinating. But don't worry about Rahm retiring because the transgendering Rahm, it's going to run the exact same way with Lori. Did you see the TIF thing yesterday? The TIF agreement?
Yes. I did. This is for Lincoln Yards.
For Lincoln Yards.
Past the city council.
And she rubber stamps it, basically, with the warning, the kind, when you take your mom's car and you better bring it back, mister, with a full tank of gas.
Redevelopments overwhelmingly passed, but Lightfoot says she had a stern message for the Lincoln Yards developers.
Enjoy this moment in the sun because you're never going to get a deal like this again out of the city of Chicago as long as I'm mayor.
And a deal it is, brother.
That was Derek Blakely reporting from CBS. Do you know I went to school with him?
Really?
Northwestern Journalism School. He got a job right out of college. I'm here. So
I think there's no need to kick you when you're down. Yeah, I hear you.
But anyway, no, tax incremental financing, I mean, it's a way to attract business, right?
It's a
but
subsidy
it
scam.
does look like a scam. Yeah,
it is.
It does.
And it's you know what? I laugh every time we pretend that we don't like monopolies or we hate the fact that we have this. Because what it does is it solidifies that developer can do no wrong. And if you look at this project, it's a decade, all right? It's 10 years. And the way in which they got this through is by promoting that you're going to have low-income housing. So it's going to be, is that technically Lincoln Park? I think it is, right?
Lincoln Yards? I don't know. No, it's not Lincoln Park.
It's near
exactly.
it. Or whatever. I thought it was. But anyway.
I don't go into the city.
Yes. No kidding. You're probably afraid. The moral of the story is all of the faux outrage for the students in the Chicago Public School, if you buy into that communist bastardized system, this directly takes the money from the school. Directly. It's 50% of your property taxes goes to schooling.
Yeah.
So if this is, let's just use their math, which we know is nonsense. Say it's $800 billion. That means $400 billion directly from Strzok. What's the guy who replaced Karen Lewis's name? Strzok, whatever.
Yeah, Jesse Sharkey.
Yeah, the other communist.
Right.
Good thing is we got another. They're constantly.
So
ones to
here's the
follow.
problem. You know, it's interesting that both progressives and conservatives seem to agree that TIF, tax incremental financing, doesn't work.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't agree?
But apparently the people in power do, and they use it all the time to build like the DePaul Arena. Wasn't that done with TIF?
Because it's all a payoff scheme. It's a pay-to-play. It is the true trust fund of pay-to-play is a TIF agreement.
All right. So, you know, we can agree on all that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our top story, of course, is, and this bears repeating over and over and over again, William Barr testifying yesterday before Congress.
You're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred.
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
Well, let me.
But the question is whether it was predicated. I think there was probably a failure among a group of leaders there at the upper echelon.
You know what I love is that the Senate actually has its own orchestra.
I have a question.
Which is it's just amazing to me.
I have a question, and I want to ask it for the audience. I know you can answer it, but I want to ask it, and you can answer it too, to show people that anybody can be a lawyer. Here's the question.
Right.
How can you be pro-Barr and pro the information he gives you, which is vital?
Yes.
You know, I'm more shocked by the shock, but which is vital, and then anti-Julian Assange. How can you have those two conflicting? That paradox.
You can't wrap
of
your
opinion.
head around both of those.
I can't. But how can people justify?
I mean, we
it?
do need a certain amount of secrecy. We don't need the corruption of the government, which apparently is what William Barr is averring by saying that something happened with the upper echelon of government. We'll get to all that after the news with Mike Scott.
More Chicago charter schools could go on strike. 4 CPD officers facing firing over the Laquan McDonald shooting. Former home of Al Capone has been sold. Cubs are the 4th most valuable team in Major League Baseball. We'll put a dollar figure on that for you. And the Pirates topped the Cubs yesterday. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Julian Assange no longer has safe haven. I'm Dave Anthony, the WikiLeaks founder, arrested this morning in London, where Fox's Simon Owen is live.
Dave, a nearly 7-year stay at the Ecuadorian embassy here, coming to an end for Julian Assange in dramatic fashion. London police saying he was arrested this morning after Ecuador withdrew his asylum and invited police in. Unconfirmed reports suggest he had to be forcibly escorted out of the building and into a waiting police van. Assange has been arrested for breaching UK bail conditions, but his attorney says he's also been detained on a US extradition request. His website previously published classified American military information and emails from Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Dave?
Simon, WikiLeaks put out a statement accusing powerful actors like the CIA of a sophisticated effort to dehumanize Julian Assange. The Treasury Department has not given House Democrats the Trump tax returns they demanded by yesterday, continuing to review the request. The president says,
I would love to give them, but I'm not going to do it while I'm under audit. It's very simple.
But Democrats say they're using the House Ways and Means Committee chairman's authority under the tax code to get the Trump returns and say the law is not ambiguous. The IRS shall furnish them. Senator Bernie Sanders, one of the many Democratic presidential candidates, has put out his Medicare for All proposal.
Every American who goes to a doctor should be able to afford the prescription drugs he or she needs.
Other 2020 presidential candidates, Kirsten Gillibrand, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, they've all signed on as co-sponsors, but the White House has put out a statement that it would cripple the economy. It's like winter again in parts of the country. Big storm hitting from Utah to Wisconsin. Some areas could get 2 feet of snow. This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 37 degrees. We've had some rain showers overnight, nothing too serious. 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A suburban Sleepy Hollow man accused of attacking 2 of his neighbors is due in bond court this morning. Police say Fabian Torres entered a home Monday and stabbed and sexually assaulted a 19-year-old woman before stabbing her 17-year-old brother. The 2 remain hospitalized with serious injuries. A judge ruling that spousal privilege laws prevent certain evidence from being used at the trial of a wife of a police lieutenant who killed himself and made it look like it was a line-of-duty death. Lake County judge ruling Wednesday that texts prosecutors say prove their theft case against Melody Glinowitz can't be used in trial. Melody Glinowitz was indicted after her husband committed suicide in September of 2015. She has pleaded not guilty to charges, including siphoning money from a youth policing program. Mayor Emanuel teared up while presiding over his final city council meeting as mayor yesterday.
The opportunity to serve with you, to serve the people of the city of Chicago, the greatest city in the greatest country on earth, the most American of American cities, has truly been the highest honor of my career.
A number of aldermen then paid tribute. Service on the CTA Blue Line running again after a train derailed overnight. It happened as that train was arriving at O'Hare. One worse person was hospitalized with a back injury. There's a new owner for the former home of Chicago's infamous gangster Al Capone. The Park Manor house sold last week for $226,000. That's more than double its asking price of $110,000. It's a 2,800 square foot property. Capone moved in with his wife and mother in 1923. Bowl season, mercifully, is over after a loss to the Sixers, 125-109. Both of our baseball teams are 3-8 after losses. Pirates over the Cubs 5-2. Rays sweep out the White Sox with a 9-1 win. The news service of Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams, April 12th through 15th. And save 40% on paints and stains with sale prices starting at $23.09. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. See store for details. Some exclusions apply. 6:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The best conversations happen with a cigar in one hand and a fine drink in the other. Join Dennis Prager live in Chicago for Cigar Night on Thursday, May 16th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Dennis will be joined by AM 560's Dan Proft for an evening of cigar smoking and good conversation. Tickets start at $29 and include a cigar. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Fireplace and Chimney Authority, Permaseal, The Range at 355, and healthinsurancementors.com.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis, and fast. Call today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
It is 6:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center this morning. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Kennedy inbound traffic is slow. Cumberland to Harlem. It's 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 24. Scattered delays start at Bryn Mawr, and it's heavy on 190 as well from Kennedy to Manheim. Edens is looking good. Inbound Eisenhower. Traffic's hitting the brakes. Manheim to Harlem and Demon to the Burn Circle. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 29. Inbound Stevenson. Scattered delays start at 83. 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57. Heavy Volmer Road to I-80. Halstead to the merge. 17 minutes from 80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 23 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Very latest with meteorologist Steve Williams.
A lakeshore flood advisory in effect this morning. It'll be cloudy, windy, mild, a couple of showers, thunderstorm for late this afternoon, high 58. Cloudy and breezy thunderstorms tonight, low 46. Clouds and breezy tomorrow, the high 52. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 37 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. With Dan and Amy and listeners in Mexico, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Ding, 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 ding. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Yeah, Sean, I know Julian Assange got arrested, but we talked about that all last hour. So those of you people who I'm sure are recording it on your DVRs or DVDs, you listen to that, or maybe it's on a podcast. We'll get back to it later.
I just found out about Pamela Anderson.
Oh, that she's Julian Assange's
are you kidding me? No wonder
girlfriend.
I like the guy.
And also, of course, William Barr, Attorney General, testified yesterday before the Senate, and he let the cat out of the bag. He believes that they're spying, and it happened in the upper echelons, and we'll find out more about that. But it's freaked out the Democrats. But I would like, if we can, Sean, because there's so much else that's fun. Kirsten Gillibrand, you were showing me off the air that she was being interviewed by what looked like a 10-year-old. And she had a couple of moments recently, including yesterday. She was actually a cheerleader with Bernie Sanders. That's how much stock that the Democrats are putting in Bernie Sanders right now, that Gillibrand would appear with Bernie Sanders when he was talking about health care. It's a right. And she was cheering him on. But then she also said this.
This has to become the next social safety net. It has to become something that is there for you no matter what. No matter if you can afford it, no matter where you live, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Okay, so that will bankrupt the entire country, and that's where the Democrats are headed.
We're already there.
But the funny thing was, and I missed this. This happened a couple of days ago. She was being interviewed, and she referred to the fact that she wanted to limit or eliminate what she called tactile nuclear weapons. She called them tactile nuclear weapons, and John Bolton was laughing about it because, of course, it's tactical nuclear weapons. And how can you eliminate nuclear weapons if you don't know the difference between strategic and tactical nuclear weapons? She was calling them tactile, although, apparently, they will touch your arsenal if they're tactile.
I'm not touching anybody's arsenal.
Of course not. And but I mean, it's hysterical. Now, sure, Donald Trump, during one of the debates, did not know what the nuclear triad was, and this guy is fantastic. I mean, the guy basically bluffed his way into the presidency. He didn't know what the. But so I am a little bit charitable towards our future President Gillibrand. She'll learn that it's tactical nuclear weapons.
The benefit of Donald Trump, and believe me, I get all this time. You're a never Trumper. You're this. That's not the case. However, I do love what's happening while he's in there. Because what you're seeing is the same party that was all outraged. And, one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up was All the President's Men. You remember with
Sure.
Dustin Hoffman
I
and
lived it.
Robert Redford. You
Yeah.
were through that era, and I
Yeah.
remember it was outrageous. Even if you were a Republican, the idea that the president can direct and control the FBI and the CIA, it's insanity for political purposes. And that's the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. I can recognize wrongdoing, but here you have arguably the exact same, if not worse, as you see the tentacles and how deep they go into the FBI. And the Democrat reporters are, it's nowhere but on talk radio. This story
You're not
is nowhere.
suggesting, though, that spying occurred.
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
Well, let me,
But the question is whether it was predicated. I think there was probably a failure among a group of leaders there at the upper echelon.
Probably a failure. And who does Skitch Henderson conduct the Senate Orchestra? It's great that they underscore the testimony that way, because music adds so
But
much
I got to ask
to
you
the
this.
testimony.
To step back from this and look at it in that.
This is shocking. Do you realize how shocking this is?
This
that
is
he
huge,
said this
dude.
yesterday.
This is huge.
He said this, and he says it in such a placid demeanor. We talk about Mr. Rogers, Mayor Pete. Barr is pretty good too, because he doesn't shout it from the rooftops like we would be wont to do. He's just, I think there was spying going on here among the upper echelons.
It's insane.
It's the corruption of the American government.
But I got to ask you this: is your takeaway from this that we are forever doomed into this tribal demagoguery where it doesn't really matter just so my guy's in charge? Because the complacency by Democrats and by Democrat reporters, it's insane to me. This is like how we laughed at George Stephanopoulos as a reporter when he was the crossing guard to the intern molestation of Monica Lewinsky.
Right.
I mean, are you people insane?
Well, it is tribal because, take Julian Assange, who was arrested today at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. They gave up his right to asylum. But Exhibit A is Julian Assange because we as conservatives, well, not you, the extreme libertarian, we as conservatives in the main were very upset with Julian Assange for allowing state secrets to become public. That was a number of years ago. But then the likes of Sean Hannity lionized Julian Assange because he gave us the Hillary Clinton and the DNC documents. So, yeah, it does get very tribal, and
Sheep wanna be
we all
led.
become hypocrites.
This was an attempted takedown of a president, and we beat them. We beat them. So the Mueller report, when they talk about obstruction, we fight back.
Well, we do. Yes, we do. That's
So-
another matter, whether it was obstruction or not. The House, if they want to go down that rabbit hole and try to impeach him on obstruction, a very expansive view of obstruction, more power to Jerry Nadler in doing that. It will play right into Trump's hands. Yes, Sean.
So you know what this shows me? I'm thinking about 2020 election, and we just had the Bibi Netanyahu election where it goes down to the count off, and you realize this is forever going to be the format of American politics as well. It will always be two versions with just little tiny nuances of the same government central election and head of it. And that's what this kind of debate shows you. That's what this reaction to what every American who believes in the principles of America, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you should be outraged that during the election year, the sitting president had the power and wherewithal to constantly monitor and spy on who he perceived as his opponent, even though he was walking out.
Now,
and Obama's in Europe right now, and he's a big celebrity. So it's sickening to me.
I love the way Obama somehow manages to stay above the fray.
That's what I mean. It's great.
The thing about the IRS scandal, which was fascinating, was Obama didn't even have to direct. There are no emails between him and Lois Lerner or anything like that. She just knew to do his bidding. I mean, they were encouraging it. Dick Durbin was encouraging. Go after
Dick
those.
Durbin, there are
go
letters.
after those.
Yeah.
Right. Go after those conservatives. Go after, target them.
So you know
and
what?
nobody. John Koskinen, the head of the IRS. There was destruction of documents. Why wasn't he in jail? Lois Lerner goes on administrative leave. She gets paid for this. Nobody ever pays for any
So
of this.
to all the future scumbags out there that want to be gangsters and bookies and just lowlifes among society,
go into government.
Go into government, baby. You will be
High
a
five
star.
me, man. I know we had
That's
a
it.
we had a tough 5 a.m.
No,
hour,
wasn't.
but
I
now
just-
we're together.
It's not tough. I dominated you last
Of
always.
course, and I went into my submissive fetal position.
You should
as
have a red
usual.
ball in your mouth after that first hour.
Bruce, Wolf, and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560 The Answer.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560 The Answer.
Hey, Chicagoland, you deserve to love where you live, so why not make it easy? Don't miss the free Home and Garden Show this weekend only at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. With free admission and free parking, find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home. Inside and out. See the latest products and services and speak with experts in kitchens and baths, windows and siding, landscaping, lawn and tree care, flooring, painting, heating and air, and even solar power and green energy systems. Plus, enjoy live cooking shows, free seminars, and exciting demonstrations. And save big on quality indoor and outdoor furniture and accessories, and so much more. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Pheasant Run Resort Mega Center off Route 64 in St. Charles with free admission and free parking. For details, visit pheasantrunhomeshow.com. pheasantrunhomeshow.com.
Feeling sore from working out hard, maybe doing some spring cleaning, or do you want to boost your immune system? Well, if either of those are interest you, then you should try Balance of Nature. It is 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. No preservatives, no dyes. And you hear the testimonials here on the air all the time. And let me tell you, they are real. Okay, folks? And the price of fruits and veggies is about to go up. But if you call or go online right now, you can lock in your price for the fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. But you've got to use the promo code Chicago. Use that when you call. And the number there is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
What is certainty? Certainty is the passionate commitment to fulfill every promise. Certainty is 4imprint, a caring, trusted team of promotional product experts, minding every detail to ensure your logo will look perfect on everything from apparel, drinkware to trade show traffic stoppers, and hot tech, all delivered on time, every time, with the promise of your satisfaction guaranteed. So, what does certainty bring? Promotional items exceeding expectations, a buzz of excitement for your team and your customers, a pep in your step, a fist pump, a whoop, a tingle, a grin, a laugh, or even one quiet word that no one will ever hear. Yes! Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. That's the number 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Did you see this story? Gregory Craig, the ex-Obama White House counsel, expects to be charged in relation to Ukrainian work with Manafort. His lawyer said, are you telling me that somebody that close to the former president of the United States?
Yes.
Why didn't Mueller throw him in jail, too?
Yes, because he's a Democrat.
Why did they throw everybody in jail? Why not the investigation of Hillary?
Because we've allowed people to be the watchers, and people have opinions, and they self-serve them, their opinions.
You didn't even congratulate me on my Jerky Boys impersonation.
Because it was
right
terrible. It's terrible. But you know, do you want to? What do you want to do? The people are on the phone. I mean, you got this.
Oh, you want to talk?
So I
to
feel
the
like
people?
Mrs. Wolf. You have no stamina.
Yeah.
Keep up with the same argument.
Hi, yo. Do you? Did you see that Kim Kardashian is going to become a lawyer?
Sure, she.
Kim Kardashian.
You did. There you go. Maybe she heard you were
The problem is I read the story about it. She's not going to law school. In California, apparently you can do an apprenticeship. And actually, there's nothing wrong with doing that because you don't need to learn the stuff in law school.
I'll bet you.
Yeah.
I'm serious. This is going to happen in my lifetime. Maybe not yours because you look terrible. In my lifetime, someone is not going to go to law school, but take the bar and become a lawyer.
Actually,
because you protect that degree.
You know who
because
could
you
do that?
people want to feel like you're erudites among men.
No, it's all a hazing process. I agree with you, but that's the whole point of being a lawyer. You talk about stamina. Just get through law school. Anyway, she's not going
It's
to
real
law
hard,
school.
Jameson.
She never had to stand in a class in law school.
Why should she?
Answer 6 questions in a row from a professor incorrectly, start to freeze and not know where you are and not know what to say, and have the professor say in front of a class of 100 people, put a mirror under his nose and see if he's breathing. I'm not saying that happened to me, Sean.
But you know what?
I'm not saying that happened to me.
The nice thing about
Commercial
having
paper, 1978, Professor Spack.
The,
Go
the
ahead.
nice thing about having my form of ADD is that I almost didn't hear any of that. Because here's what I'm thinking is, what if the entire structure, and I've said this before, the entire structure of school is absolutely wrong and incorrect. And in this modern day of information in the palm of our hand, we didn't need these corrupt monopoly bastions of education. And you just allowed people to test on their actual knowledge, and you didn't care how they got it, just so they could pass the bar.
I think that people could do an apprenticeship. It's the way they used to do it, like 120 years ago. You didn't go to law school, and law school is probably too long, too. But I think going to law school actually does teach you to think like a lawyer.
Oh,
there are certain,
so
there's certain
arrogant.
ways to,
you know, I'm a real estate broker. You know what lawyers do? They create a problem to fix a problem so they can get a check. Come on, nobody, you're not better than anybody.
That's kind of difficult thinking. Candace, how are you, Candace?
Good. I agree with Sean. I can't stand these elites who think they know better than us. But, okay, I want everybody to watch this show. Okay, it's like episode 5 and 6 of The Irish Mob on Netflix. Sean,
Okay.
have you seen this?
No, but I see them all the time. They're
Because-
called Mike Madigan and Ed Burke
I
and
know.
the Chicago
But my
Democrats.
And what do they do
I
on this
like,
show?
Okay, but these 2 episodes talk about the FBI and Whitey Bulger, and I did not even know. How is it possible that I didn't even know until
old
the show
news.
that Whitey Bulger's brother was a senator?
It's Bulger.
You know what I mean?
That's all right.
And also,
And what's
okay,
the point?
anyway,
And
sorry.
Candace, I mean,
the point I'm trying
Yeah.
to make
Mhm.
is that they were talking about the FBI and how they were protecting Whitey Bulger and Bulger, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
Ray
And
Bulger,
his brother
the
is a
scarecrow.
freaking senator,
Yes.
right?
No, there's corruption. There's no question that there's corruption.
It's a ta-da moment.
Corrupt and kill people.
Yes, I understand. No, and J. Edgar Hoover walked around in
You
a.
talk.
You already
okay.
made your point, and it took you meandered in order to make the point. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate it.
I got an email for Viagra and Cialis. You want me to forward it to you?
Mike from the North Side. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Hi, Mike.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Monday, replay the tape from my call Monday. I said, give this new mayor 3 days and see if she flips. She flipped already. There's a picture of her in the paper with Jabba the governor. She already supplicated herself. She went.
Go ahead. Yes.
She gave in the $2.4 billion in TIF money for these 2 developments. Who's behind Sterling Bay? The Crowns and the Pritzkers.
There we
Not
go.
JB, but the rest of his family.
No, I got that.
So
Hold on
this
a
is
minute.
the daily precedent. As long as the Vinecos make money, it's okay. As
Let me
long
ask
as
you this,
it
Mike.
didn't go directly in Richie's pocket, and I don't know what was
I
worse,
agree.
that picture of those two together, or the pictures coming out of Mexico, Dan Proft cuddling with some guys in a pool. Now he flipped too. Is he going to be? They're smoking cigars. That's how it starts. It starts cuddling in a pool.
Sure.
Then they're painting each other's toenails and having a slumber party. Dan Proft, I guarantee you, is going to be the next drag queen, parade queen at a pride parade. He's going to be on the Wrigley Gum Float. He's going to be Mr. Juicy Fruit. He's going to invite you guys to go up and down Broadway with him.
Well, let me ask you this, though,
Don't
Mike.
answer your phone in June.
Would you rather see Dan Proft or Grady Preckwinkle in a Teddy? Tell the truth.
So, Mike,
Grady Preckwinkle, that's only her father. Her mother was Mr. Ed.
All right.
She could eat a corn cob through a picket fence.
All right, Mike, and it's really, I'm not trying to top this because your 3 minutes of stand-up is fantastic. You're better than the unknown comic. Here's the thing, Mike, are you worried? Are you worried that, I don't mind the TIFF thing with the Pritzkers, that's garden variety corruption.
Sure.
Are you worried that Lori Lightfoot is not going to look into what Kim Fox did? She's going to capitulate to Kim Fox. Are you worried about that?
She's going to capitulate on everything. She switched quicker than Jane Byrne did. Remember, Jane Byrne was a reformer. She had Lipinski and Aiello backing her up, and the next thing they knew, they showed up to work the next day. Charlie Schleibel is in there with Eddie Radoliak. They said, "You're out."
And
I don't
her
even
exit
think she's a
ramp
lesbian
sucks.
anymore.
Thank you.
And her exit ramp sucks.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, it was great.
He
But
just
here's the
came
thing.
up with about 15 one-liners
But
right
here's
there.
the thing.
Yes.
I surmised all of that a month ago. He's not going to top me. I told you don't have to adjust the height of the urinal in the mayor's office. That was a double entendre. It just didn't, you know what I mean? Because what I was really saying is it's the same thing as Rahm. Whether it's the TIFF agreement, whether it's Kim Fox, don't worry. The Irish mafia is going to go on. It is insulated. It is protected. It has many capos called aldermen. You're never going to hurt it. And where's the FBI? They're investigating the Republicans.
Danny from Mount Prospect. Good morning. Hello, Danny. You there?
Hi, how are you? Oh, Sean, we hugged last February at an Ives event.
There you go.
And I
Still
love
remembers it, Wolf. Still remembers it.
It's
You
very
see?
good. Hi.
That's right.
I'm Chopped Liver. Hi, Danny.
Well, I wanted to tell Bruce, I don't think I have to ask if it was communist Illinois when we had Mrs. Todd.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember Mrs.
Wait.
Todd?
Were you in my class with me?
I don't know if we were in the same class, but I
Mrs.
had
Todd is my
Mrs.
favorite
Todd-
teacher of all time. My
Mine
sophomore
too.
high school English teacher, and I never lived up to what she would be embarrassed at what I'm doing right now, of course.
Everyone is.
But, I mean, she was the greatest teacher of all time, Mrs. Todd. We were supposed to read A Tale of Two Cities while we were reading Cry of the Beloved Country. We were supposed to read ahead, and she asked me in class who was Jerry Cruncher, and I didn't know because I hadn't read ahead. And she said, "Don't worry, everybody else is done." I used to get flop sweat walking into that class. She was impossible. I have never lived up to the Mrs. Todd standard.
And didn't she give you love of language?
Oh, unbelievable. I have never...
And I write. Oh, because of her, I write. I have published.
Really?
She was the most... Yeah, and you guys are segueing between education and then movies. Because I want to ask you if you know who this actress is, Kate Burton. She's Richard Burton's daughter.
No.
Loved Richard Burton.
Yes, go ahead.
She had a role in Scandal, and she played, I don't know, she ran for president in Scandal, but she murdered her husband. And then she had a role on NCIS. I watch too much TV.
Sure.
And she murdered her son. And I want to cast her in the role in Hillary Clinton's life.
Okay.
She has this perpetual
She's got the
snarl on her
qualifications.
Sure.
face.
Yeah.
I want Kate McKinnon to do it, of course,
really?
because Kate McKinnon is the woman who imitates Hillary, imitating a human. So she's imitating a human, imitating a human. Danny, Mrs. Todd didn't have a television. She didn't. I suggest you get rid of yours and write some more. Thank you, Danny, so much for calling.
I want to put a blonde wig on Karl Rove and cast him as Hillary Clinton. What the hell's the difference?
Let's go to the newsroom with Mike Scott.
While we all take our money out of Telson's Bank. Right, Bruce? Yes. 37 degrees, 6:31 is our time. On AM 560, The Answer, Treasury Department denying a request this morning to turn over President Trump's tax returns. The Democrat head of the House Ways and Means Committee, you may recall, demanded 6 years of personal tax returns. President Trump unveiling some new executive orders aimed at boosting U.S. oil and gas production.
My action today will cut through destructive permitting delays and denials. You know about that? You know about delays? Where it takes you 20 years to get a permit? Those days are gone.
Speaking in Houston yesterday, the president said energy infrastructure is being held back by special interest groups and bureaucracies and not paving the way to newer, cleaner energy. Suspect is under arrest in connection with a string of fires at black churches in Louisiana. Police apparently arrested the 21-year-old son of a St. Landry Parish deputy sheriff. There were 3 fires in 10 days. Disney is set to unveil details of its anticipated streaming service today. Disney holds rights, you may recall, to some of the most popular and recognizable entertainment franchises in the world, from Pixar to Star Wars. 2 hikers who have been missing for days in the San Gabriel Mountains in Los Angeles have been found safe overnight. A death investigation continues after a human foot was found in a Crown Point, Indiana pond. Avon, Indiana Deputy Police Chief Brian Nugent explained yesterday why it's not considered a murder investigation just yet.
Law enforcement agency does not establish the fact that a homicide has taken place. That, by rules of practice in law enforcement, is a declaration that's made by a coroner and by a pathologist.
The remains may belong to Naja Farrell. She had been missing since March 15. The suburban Sleepy Hollow man is accused of attacking his 2 neighbors and is due in bond court this morning. Police say Fabian Torres entered a home Monday on Saratoga Parkway and stabbed and sexually assaulted a 19-year-old woman before stabbing her 17-year-old brother. Chicago aldermen gave the green light to a pair of massive construction projects. Critics of the Lincoln Yards and 78 projects say more concessions should have been made.
I don't agree with the project going forward the way that it is. I think it should include a lot more affordable housing.
City Council voting yesterday to approve about $2 billion in property tax subsidies for the North Side and South Loop proposed developments. Bowl season is over following a 125-109 loss to the Sixers. Bulls finishing with the 4th worst record in the NBA. Pirates over the Cubs 5-2. Rays sweep out the White Sox with a 9-1 win. Stanley Cup playoff winners: Blue Jackets, Islanders, Blues, Stars, and Sharks with wins. The news service of Maaco. You might not be able to get a new car with your tax refund, but you can make your car feel like it's brand new. All it needs is a great paint job. Come into Maaco today. Get your dream paint job during their tax season sales event. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager runs down the list of the changes the left wants.
It's an amazing thing in America. The Democrats, because they're on the left, they really want to take it down. Do you understand what they are aiming at? They are aiming at the Electoral College, the vote at 16, extending the court to 15 members. One of the mottos of the left is nothing is sacred.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, my name's Ken, and I own Good Start Packaging in Bedford, New Hampshire. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. And last year, that added up to $36,000 in cash back. That's right, $36,000. Thanks to that, I was able to offer health care to my employees. The Spark Cash Card did a lot for my business. Imagine what it could do for yours. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers paid for real stories. Credit approval required.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial 3.
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last time you ever have to worry about hair loss. Because Bosley is the real deal. They're giving women and men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started is a single text message. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you text TRUST to 85850. Bosley will show you, for free, how great your hair could look. You'll also see, for free, why you're losing hair and how to get it back. Women and men all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert, ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part? Bosley has permanent solutions to hair loss. You'll love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to send a text. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting TRUST to 85850. Don't forget, that's TRUST to 85850.
It is 6:37. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
On the west side, there's a collision involving a CTA bus on northbound Western at Madison. Eden's inbound. It's heavy starting at Peterson. 22 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy inbound delays start at Cumberland. 29 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 11 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound 36 minutes to O'Hare. There was a stall at Damon. It's also heavy on westbound 190 at the airport. On Eisenhower, 39 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson already 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, 90 to the Merge Bishop 422. Northbound Tri-State is heavy, 95th to the 83rd Street toll and Plainfield Road to 47th. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Windy, cloudy and milder. A couple of thunderstorms could pop up late in the day and a high of 58. Currently 37. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson filling in on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. So Bernie Sanders, who is the front runner, Sean, as a matter of fact, he's such a front runner that Kirsten Gillibrand, who's also running for president, stood by his side and cheered him on. She was rah-rahing as he said things like this yesterday.
Please do not tell us that this is a rational healthcare system.
Right. Yeah, that's her saying right. So it's not rational. No, it isn't rational. And to the extent it's not rational, it's because the government has been meddling in this since they made it illegal. They have wage and price controls during the World War II era. So to get around that, to circumvent this, we all know the story, employers started offering health care. And so it's been cacaille, pardon my legal term of art there, for the past 75 years or so. And, yeah, it's a hodgepodge of all kinds of government intervention. He just wants to exacerbate the problem, make it 10 times worse by having basically socialized medicine.
However, what it's done is set the dominoes up perfectly. And no one can stampede a useful idiot like a socialist Democrat. So be careful to laugh this off.
I'm not
the
laughing it
reality
off.
is
Nah.
the reality is this is the week that a judge in Cook County, Illinois, ordered a private company to operate a hospital because it is in need.
Westlake Hospital
in Melrose Park. And you see the public officials who personally I love and professionally when you look at this you're almost stupefied by the audacity of people to demand other people serve them. And this is the basis of all socialism. It is force.
Well,
and we are comfortable as Americans in ordering other people to serve us.
You know, Kevin Williamson in National Review, from whom I plagiarize all the time, but I'll attribute something to him right now, is he had an article recently, an essay, about how in San Francisco, where you have the best and the brightest, the richest, they want to create affordable housing there. Well, they can't, and they can't figure it out because there are so many competing interests. I mean, there's the environmental concerns, there's the aesthetic concerns, which are also always at odds with each other. There's the fact that there's a scarcity of land, and you got all these rich people, and they're all liberals, too, in San Francisco, and they can't come up with affordable housing for people. Now, that's one small problem that cannot be solved by a local government and with smart people. Now, why don't we take a look at this gigantic thing called the U.S. healthcare system? You think that on a mass scale, we're going to be able to help all achieve something rational? Bernie Sanders, a guy who never made a dime in his life in private enterprise. Well, except that he wrote a book. But extolling the virtues of socialism, and he makes $1 million on it, the most capitalist thing you could possibly do. So unless you live in a world of irony, you're going to fail.
And look what they're turning to as the solution. Arguably the greatest failure of government, Medicare, Medicaid. The greatest failure of government. That each and every year, the waste, fraud, and abuse alone is mind-boggling. And they want this expanded. That's the beauty of government. The more it fails, the stronger it gets.
What about reasonable solutions to this? You return a lot of the power to the states. They can experiment with different things. But that's not sexy. The Republicans, Mitch McConnell was on yesterday with Brett Baer, and the Republicans have conceded on something that, and Obama should be happy. Obama won. Maybe Obamacare is going to be gutted, but he won on the basic point, which was insurance companies have to take care of pre-existing conditions, which undermines the whole definition of insurance. But okay, I understand that. Still, we can let the states have more power than they do and experiment with different things.
And let's start from the principle of what are we really trying to solve? We are all dead. Everyone is dead. No one gets out alive. The question really is, what are you willing to take from strangers and your kids to stay alive? That's the question.
Well, let's go to Mark right now in Plainfield. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bruce and Sean. I'm a CPA who's been in financial reporting for like 20 years, so I know corporate payroll data, and it's amazing what companies will pay for their employees' health care. My personal company, the company I work for, they'll pay $12,000. I put in $3,000. I'd be so much better off if they gave me the $12,000. Let me self-insure. I could probably get a family policy for $6,000 with a $6,000 deductible. Then I get to keep the $3,000 myself. And if everybody was doing it, no one in their right mind would be buying these expensive policies.
Mark, I am doing
it.
it.
The doctor.
Yeah.
Right. You just pay the doctor and then keep the money in chance.
No, Mark.
And then watch the insurance go down when people start buying these policies.
Right.
But the government doesn't want to do that because they just want our tax money.
Right. And Mark, it's fascinating because nobody really knows the price of anything, which is wonderful. And you're a bottom line guy. That's your profession. And nobody really knows the price of anything.
And here's the problem. They've created this Rube Goldberg mechanism called Obamacare, which doesn't even allow you to do what he suggests. I am in that category. Do you realize I have never been sick? No one in my family, myself, my wife, my 2 kids. We have no pre-existing conditions. I'm paying $2,200 a month. And I have a $15,000 deductible.
You're just trying to show off.
I'm not showing off. It's harming me to the point where I have to constantly work.
Don't you want to take care of your fellow man?
No.
You're lucky.
No, I
You're
don't.
blessed in being healthful.
No, I don't.
You're a social Darwinist, aren't you?
My obligation is to my children.
See, I don't mind taking care of our fellow man. That's fine with me. But let's be transparent about it. That's what we're doing. Instead, we have, as you mentioned, this Rube Goldberg invention, and it camouflages all the costs. I mean,
my fellow man doesn't take care of himself. The biggest problem in America with American poor is obesity. So if I'm going to pay for these fat slobs, they're going to go on a workout regimen I approve of. See, but that's where it leads. And the reality is they don't have the testicle fortitude to tell you the truth, where I do.
It was Rod Blagojevich used the term testicular fortitude. But
right now he's getting some, right?
In the 1960s, I think CBS did a documentary called Hunger in America with an Aaron Copland theme underneath it. And it was all about kids with distended stomachs, poverty, how widespread it was in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Distended stomachs. Now, of course, again, the irony is that the poor among us are among the most obese, in part because, if you get 1,000 calories from a Big Mac fries and a milkshake, that'll tide you over for a while. They can't afford to buy the Whole Foods healthy stuff.
I ever tell you about the guy I threw out of my cigar store? Now, I've thrown many out. But my favorite.
Would I get thrown out of your cigar store?
No, you'd laugh. You'd stick around like one of the pitchers for fun. But here's the thing. One of my favorite scumbags, lowlifes, was this guy who would brag about how he was on the government cheese, okay? Then it came time he was smoking cigars. He pulled out one of those those cards they give you, where you get to pretend you're a man.
Yes.
They make it look like a charge card instead of a green
Right.
stamp.
It's a link card.
Which it should be.
I was on a federal jury that convicted two people of a link card fraud.
And he knew
Yes.
it. And I've known him for years. And to this day, he knows I can't stomach him. The sight of him makes me
Right.
sick.
I love that they do make it look like a credit card so that you don't have to
like
be
you're a real
embarrassed.
person, like
Right.
a real boy, Geppetto or Pokemon.
Whatever.
Anyway, here's the
Was
point is-
Geppetto real? Pinocchio was real. Geppetto was the puppet.
yeah, but
Who's pulling the strings? Go
this
ahead.
is the problem because of the fraud that you allow to go on and turn a blind eye to.
Sure.
But that with people of character, I'll throw you on your ear. You pull that nonsense. The problem is most won't. And right now you have these phony baloney institutions that are profiting from this. And that's why when it comes to Medicare or food stamps or whatever public sector entitlement benefit, it's the leeches are the only ones that win.
Let me ask you this, Inspector Javert. If somebody, a poor person, steals a loaf of bread to feed his family, should he be hounded to the ends of the earth?
No, he should have thought about becoming a senator and making his wife a lobbyist like Dick Durbin.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The federal budget deficit balloons 15%. The White House slams Bernie Sanders on his Medicare for All scheme. And Ford recalling thousands of F-Series trucks. Those stories next.
Hi, this is Alexander Green, Chief Investment Strategist for the Oxford Club. Just for a moment, I'd like you to picture the perfect stock. No doubt it would have hundreds of billions in revenue, more than IBM, Facebook, and Google. It would probably be a leader in cutting-edge technology like smartphones and robotics. It would be on the verge of dozens of blockbuster announcements. But most of all, it would be ultra cheap, trading at less than $3 a share. Now, it may seem crazy that such a stock exists, but it does. It's a cutting-edge tech company that has made deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars with Nokia, Microsoft, and Cisco, and a $29.2 billion deal with Apple. It's set to create 50,000 new jobs right here in America, and Donald Trump even calls it the eighth wonder of the world. Yet you've likely never even heard of the stock. Why? Because it trades under a secret name. To find out why the secret $3 stock can help you retire, simply go to onestockretirement.com. That's onestockretirement.com.
The Treasury Department reporting the federal budget deficit last month swelled to almost $147 billion, and that raised our national debt by 15% for the first half of this budget year. The Treasury projecting the deficit will ultimately exceed $1 trillion this fiscal year. Senator Bernie Sanders promising a Medicare for all single-payer system if he's elected president. The White House dismissing Sanders' rhetoric as unreliable and dangerous. President Trump pledging to protect people with pre-existing conditions and to cut prescription drug prices. Ford is recalling more than 230,000 F-Series pickup trucks to fix a problem with engine block heater cables. Ford says the cables can overheat and in some cases cause fires. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Gentlemen, are you taking care of your skin? You're probably not. Probably not the way you should, which is why I want to introduce you to Tiege Hanley. It's a Chicago company that is doing something about how men think about and treat their skin. I am one of those men who is rethinking what I'm doing about my skin. Started by 4 guys who know how guys think, the company Tiege Hanley. It's simple, affordable, effective. Also, you don't have to shop. Through their subscription service, all the product is delivered directly to your door. No hidden fees or inflated costs. They have 3 skincare systems. Each include their wash, scrub, and moisturizers with SPF 20. Protect your skin when you're active outside, as we're hopefully entering spring sometime soon. So go right now, go to Tiege.com/DanProft. Use the promo code Dan20, Dan the number 20, and that gets you 20% off your first box. Tiege.com, TIEGE.com/DanProft. Use the promo code Dan20.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and before you buy a new expensive mattress, I urge you to consider the MyPillow mattress topper. It's a lot less expensive and will totally revitalize your mattress. I have one, and frankly, I don't know if I love MyPillow or MyPillow mattress topper more. It's that good, and you'll get the best sleep of your life. Order now and get 30% off plus 2 free standard MyPillows. The exclusive 3-layer design includes MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and an ultra-soft patented temperature-regulating cover that's washable and dryable. Plus, Mike Lindell's 60-day money-back guarantee. You'll get the total body support you need, sleep better, and save a lot of money. Save 30% off your MyPillow mattress topper when you use promo code AMY. Plus, you'll receive 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. So visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, promo code AMY.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's Dan and Amy, and we're in Nuevo Vallarta on our Passport to Paradise vacation. We're coming to you poolside at the Miraval Distinct Luxury Residences, and we're still recovering from the other night when we jetted off to a distant island, barely inhabited, for a rhythm of the night, Cirque du Soleil, meals. Amy, you're dancing.
Well, I don't know who talked us into this excursion that we went on, but it's sold as we're going to an exotic island similar to Survivor.
Right.
You know, it's uninhabited. You'll be at one with
exclusive.
nature. Don't touch the indigenous people. And we got on
Except
the catamaran.
Johnny, our waiter. We were allowed to touch him.
I know. So it was an hour catamaran ride, and we get there, and it's
just us. It's just the two of us and 1,000 other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There were actually 750 other people there. But so we ate dinner in the jungle. Almost got attacked by scorpions, which turned out to be insects.
Yeah. Like the size of half a thumbnail. Yeah. Okay.
And
Real
then
harrowing.
Johnny was our waiter. It was nice. We had a good time because we had a good crew. Most of the people that came with us on the trip came with us on that excursion. And
Yes.
then we saw the most fantastic show. It was Cirque du Soleil, but it was so much more. They were twirling fire. Jesse White tumblers were there.
Well,
doing
yes,
their
the
stuff.
Mexican version of the Jesse White tumblers. Actually, they could probably teach the Jesse White tumbler something.
They
They were that good. It was actually a great show.
They got a lot of height too on their backflips. I mean, they should be in the Olympics, honestly.
Off the seesaw.
Oh
the
yeah,
seesaw,
and then
that was
it
cool.
It was a trapeze show without a net underneath. I mean, it was crazy. And then they dangled in the air.
Sure.
Another act
and
dangled in
of
the
course,
air.
I love the romance. I mean,
Well,
it's just the tears.
I know.
Nonstop. But it was a beautiful show, though.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then we took the boat home.
Right,
But
and
the boat
then-
ride home was hysterical.
Right.
Because they did a Queen show.
Right. Let's develop that a little
Okay,
bit.
yes. So if-
They had a bunch of the staff dress up like Freddie Mercury and the band members from Queen, and then they serenaded you with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Exactly. But it was funny because the guy had fake teeth in to look like Freddie Mercury, and they popped out a few times, and so it was cool. And then people,
The
Beth
only
and
thing
Jim.
the only
yeah.
thing about the boat ride and
What?
the whole excursion, the only downside,
What?
all those fracking Canadians. There are too
Oh,
many
my-
Canadians here at the same time we are. And they
They-
just, especially,
What?
the worst, it's not bad enough to be Canadian. French Canadians,
Oh,
intolerable.
from Montreal.
Yeah.
What did they do to you? They have a
I
lot
mean,
of spirit. They dance. They're the
yeah.
first ones to hit the dance floor. And speaking of dancing, Beth and Jim, they're in our group. They came with us on this excursion.
Yes.
You know,
Jim
the
McShane,
doctor.
respected
Yes.
dentist.
Yes.
Yes.
He is quite the dancer. He and his wife, they cut a rug up there. I mean, really, it was impressive.
It was a good time.
I
Mike
had a blast.
Sakoff, our Mike Sakoff from
Yes.
our sales staff, also quite the Fred Astaire on the dance floor.
I don't think
Surprised some people, surprised some clients to learn, but that's true.
Really?
True story.
I didn't see Mike.
True story.
I did not see him dancing. Was he really dancing?
Like the wind.
I think I saw him sitting in a chair.
It was
Because
a
you
good-
were sitting in a chair, too.
I don't dance except when prize money is on the line.
Exactly.
It was a good time though. It was a great excursion, and that's one of the many things you do in Nuevo Vallarta. And via the Maraval luxury residences where we're staying. But it actually really was a good time. Dan and Amy coming to you from the aforesaid Maraval distinct luxury residences in Nuevo Vallarta.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman and Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman and Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. You know, Sean, they have a new thing called the consent condom. It takes 4 hands to open it, so that means there's mutual consent among the 4 people. I knew it took 2 hands to handle a Whopper.
What if you're one of these freaks that likes amputees? Now what do? You know what I mean?
You got to bring
a couple of freaks out there.
You have to bring in a surrogate.
Sure,
is
why
what
not?
you have to do.
You need a waitress to come and help you. Honey, believe me, she's in for it. Just open the package.
I mean, isn't it deflating enough that you have to use a condom? I mean, you know, you actually have to think about it and use the condom. I would think that just having to open up a condom. But what do I know? All right, coming up after 7 o'clock, we're going to talk to Kristen McQuarrie of the Chicago Tribune about, the state situation.
Well, like in a half hour. What are you going to talk about for a half hour?
We want people to hang around.
All right.
Now let's go to Mike Scott in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
Bruce and Sean, good morning. A man attacked at a Blue Line station in the Loop. A deadly shooting investigated in Calumet City. The Cubs are the 4th most valuable team in Major League Baseball. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Julian Assange may soon be coming to America. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After the WikiLeaks founder was arrested this morning in London, Fox's Simon Owen is there live.
Dave, Julian Assange forcibly removed from the Ecuadorian embassy here, where he's been sheltering for nearly 7 years. Ecuador revoking his asylum, and police saying they were invited into the embassy to make the arrest. He's been detained first for breaching UK bail conditions, but police confirm he's also been arrested on behalf of US authorities. WikiLeaks previously released secret US government files and emails from Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Dave?
Simon, this reaction from WikiLeaks saying there's been a sophisticated effort to dehumanize Assange. Edward Snowden also reacted. Remember him? The American who fled to Russia after leaking classified NSA information detailing government surveillance programs. Snowden tweeted, "This is a dark moment for press freedom." Democrats who keep demanding Attorney General Barr give them the full special counsel Mueller report are now upset. Barr told a Senate hearing without offering evidence the Trump campaign was spied on in 2016, calling it a big deal that he will be reviewing.
The chief law enforcement officer of our country is going off the rails.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Now, the Treasury Department has missed the Democrats' deadline to turn over President Trump's tax return, saying it's still reviewing the request. Senator Ron Wyden told the IRS commissioner,
"It is your job and your job alone
to respond to Chairman Neal's request.
Neal chairs the House Ways and Means Committee, and he's using a tax law that says the IRS shall comply with his request. It may be April 11, but a nasty storm is snowing down from Utah and Colorado.
Feels like it's been a long winter, ready for summer.
To Wisconsin.
We're not really well prepared for this one.
Many areas under blizzard warnings. In the Dakotas, they could get 2 feet of snow. More than 400 flights are canceled. This is Fox News.
Gray skies, really blustery, windy conditions throughout the day. A little warmer, high near 58. Currently 37 at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. And good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A suburban Sleepy Hollow man accused of attacking 2 of his neighbors is due in bond court this morning. Fabian Torres reportedly entered a home on Monday, stabbing and sexually assaulting a 19-year-old woman before stabbing her 17-year-old brother. And Kane County prosecutors say it's not the first time Torres has been in court. He served prison time for throwing a Molotov cocktail into a crowded Algonquin grocery store in 2011. Chicago aldermen give the green light to a pair of massive construction projects. However, critics of the Lincoln Yards and the 78 projects say more concessions should have been made.
I don't agree with the project going forward the way that it is. I think it should include a lot more affordable housing.
City Council voting yesterday to approve TIF funding subsidies for both the North Side and South Loop developments. Chicago police are investigating after a man was attacked at a Blue Line station in the Loop. No one in custody. Police investigating another deadly mass shooting in the East Garfield Park neighborhood on the city's west side. 2 of the victims are dead, a third person in critical condition. A hearing underway for 4 Chicago police officers who are fighting their dismissals following accusations they tried to cover up an officer's 2014 fatal shooting of black teen Laquan McDonald. Chicago sports. Bulls season is over following a 125-109 loss to the Sixers in Philadelphia. Pirates 5-2 winners over the Cubs at Wrigley. Rays sweep out the White Sox at the rate with a 9-1 victory. Just a few minutes. At famed Augusta National, they'll tee off round 1 of the Masters. The news, a service of Staples, with the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy 1 HP ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. Ends 4/13/19. For details, Staples. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity reacts to the Mueller report.
If the lying, abusively corrupt news media is not held accountable for all of their lies, all of their breathless, hysterical reporting, now we know based on nothing in many cases, they believed what they wanted to believe, and it became a psychotic rage.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10-speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis, and fast. Call today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
7:07 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Northbound Tri-State traffic is heavy. Crawford to Harlem, 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to past the Eisenhower. Eastbound Reagan Tollway has delays. Midwest 22nd, crash in the left center lane. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 34 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown. 34 from Manheim, outbound 35 to 390. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan is 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 424. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
A lakeshore flood advisory in effect this morning. It'll be cloudy and milder, shower and a thunderstorm this afternoon. Windy day, high 58. Clouds and breezy. Thunderstorms could be heavy early tonight, low 46. Clouds and breezy tomorrow, the high 52. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 37. Your next news at 7:30. With Dan and Amy and listeners in Mexico, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Ding, 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 ding. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Coming up after the news at 7:30, we'll talk to Kristen McQuarrie of the Chicago Tribune about all things. Well, her moniker on Twitter is State House Chick. We'll talk about the boondoggles and the corruption of J.B. Pritzker and Mike Madigan, and Lori Lightfoot apparently sucked into that vortex yesterday as well. So I don't want you to think that we're not talking about that. And we've talked till we were semi-blue in the face about Julian Assange already. We'll get back to that later. But I don't want to lose sight of the big story yesterday. This was Attorney General William Barr testifying before the Senate, and he let out this little bombshell in a very calm Mr. Rogers-like demeanor, not as good as Mayor Pete of South Bend, Indiana, but it was quite compelling.
You're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred?
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
Well, let me,
but the question is whether it was predicated. I think there was probably a failure among a group of leaders there at the upper echelon.
See, I don't think you really needed Doc Severinsen in the Senate orchestra to underscore that, because it was quite potent what he said there. I mean, he's saying probably there was corruption in the upper echelon. So our bigwigs in government were weaponizing our agencies like the FBI. It's more than the FBI; it's the CIA as well, and there's a big problem there. And of course, the Democrats, Sean, went nutso, and their acolytes in the media.
There is no evidence to support any allegation that the FBI or any intelligence agency placed a spy in the Trump campaign.
His baseless claims of spies. This so-called spy issue, first of all, there's absolutely no evidence there was a spy. So it's really a fake issue.
It's this phony baloney story about a spy in the campaign.
To call them a conspiracy theory is to give them too much credit. Just fake facts.
All the other people who've seen the intelligence in your own party are saying there's just no there. I'm wondering what it will take for you, Congressman Zeldin, to say he's full of it.
The usual gang of idiots on cable.
See, but
Fox excluded. Yes, Sean.
To me, the two stories are very linked. And what I mean by that is you could not have this deep state political-driven agenda in the bureaucracies of government if you had a venue for which the good people could release the information and the atrocities that are occurring. So to me, who like to connect dots, I believe now it's referred to as conspiratorial.
Just like any insane person would. Yes.
So it is no coincidence to me.
A beautiful mind, Sean Thompson.
Thank you.
Yes.
And on the same day that this is breaking, that the Santa's little helper who has aged terribly, Julian Assange, is arrested.
First of all, he looks overweight, doesn't he? Of course, if you were stuck inside all the time, you could never go for a jog.
But I like the fact that Pamela Anderson is still attracted to chubby guys. It's because a lot of hopefulness out there. But my point is,
can I stipulate? I mean, can we just table that motion and not talk about how Julian Assange is the most virtuous man in the world, and just stick with this for a second?
Yeah.
No. So we really got something that it's going to blow up in the Democrats and the media's face, because Barr is saying that there was. Well, I mean, he'll come up with the proof next week. The Democrats are just whistling in the dark over this right now. That the FBI was weaponized.
Well,
and there was abuse in getting this warrant to spy. The word is spy, and I know people like Charles Lane appear on Special Report, and he sounds so wonderful, so calm when he's on there. The guy from the Washington Post, and he says he should have used words like surveillance. Well, what's the difference? It's spying.
No.
Yeah.
No one proves the adage that the bureaucrat is the foot soldier of the tyrant. Like Chicago. The idea, I'm shocked that people are shocked this happens in a federal level. Of course it does. How do you think you move up to the higher echelon of these bureaucracies unless you're in on the game? So you're surprised that the upper echelon of the EPA or OSHA or the FBI or whatever three-letter acronym you want to throw out there is attached and interwoven with the politicians? Ooh, it's surprising.
And of course, the great thing is to distinguish that, and now the tables are being turned on the Democrats after the 2 years that we had to put up with the Mueller investigation. Now the tables are being turned on the Democrats. But compare that to the way they soft-pedaled the entire Hillary investigation into the emails. But Donald Trump may have the last laugh here.
This was an attempted takedown of a president, and we beat them. We beat them. So the Mueller report, when they talk about obstruction, we fight back.
How many Republican voters work for the streets and sands of Chicago? I mean, are you surprised at this whole thing? Come on. You're stepping fetch to the corruption that pays you.
Kevin from Libertyville, good morning.
Hey, guys. I don't know if you guys caught it. It doesn't seem like you did. But your menage of morons talking at the top of your story, describing, saying that there was no spy, there was no spy, there was no spy. That's not the allegation. Now they're trying, the Dems and the media, present company excluded perhaps, but it's not about a spy being planted. They're trying to twist it that way. It's about spying, and it's reprehensible. And, Sean, you owe everyone an apology for dissing Candace yesterday, so we'll wait here for your apology.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, I mean, there was spying. I mean, everybody's known that there's been spying. They used domestic intelligence assets. They used covert overseas intelligence assets. They used the FISA court. They had national security letters. I mean, and then, of course, they didn't even warn President Trump. They warned Dianne Feinstein when she had that Chinese operative working for her for all those years. But they don't warn President Trump because they wanted to get President Trump.
So what do you think happens to the non-corrupt bureaucrat in these institutions that is witnessing this as it's happening? What do you think his career is like on a daily basis? So in other words, the FISA court system has always been, to me, a joke. The idea that you don't have representation or at least a pushback on an agenda of national
there's
security
a legitimate
agencies.
use of FISA, and of course this was a corrupt use of FISA. I'll reserve judgment.
It always hides under the cloak of intent, right?
You can give us a call on the turnkey.pro answer line at 312-642-5600. That's 312-642-5600. But you'll see you've already seen the Democrats' reaction to this. I mean, they're saying they're denying, and they're saying they won't even allow you to use the word spying. And it was.
To me, it's not even.
And we've known about this a long time. There's no question about it. People, you ask the average Democrat, do they even know who Stefan Harper is? Do they know who Joseph Mifsud is? No, they don't go into the weeds on any of these things. And half the Democrats, there was a U.gov poll last year or so that like half of the Democrats believe that the Russians actually altered votes at the ballot box. That they actually did that,
like Cicero,
in favor of Donald Trump.
Yeah, like Cicero. The question isn't is the bureaucracies infiltrated by political apparatchiks. It's how deep is the root. There is no question that this organization, in this case the FBI, was doing the bidding of the current then administration of Barack Hussein Obama. There's no question. And to me, it was
there is a question. Nancy Pelosi would demur.
While we're on that subject of the Judiciary Committee, let me just say how very, very dismaying and disappointing that the chief law enforcement officer of our country is going off the rails yesterday and today. God almighty. He is the Attorney General of the United States of America, not the Attorney General of Donald Trump.
Well, technically, that is not true, but assuming arguendo that you're correct, that he's the Attorney General of the United States, it would have been well within his province to have said what he said yesterday. I did think that there was a little speculation on his part, and I hope he can back it up next week, tie it together. Well, when he said that it was in the upper echelon of the government. He's going to, but so far, I don't. Barr is a careerist. He doesn't put out things that he later cannot prove, unlike many of the Rachel Maddows of the media. He will come up with the goods next week. I would be astounded
this
if
is
he
why
didn't.
The AG should be a position we vote on. I'll tell you the truth.
Maybe not next week, but until the IG comes up with it in June. Yes.
But you didn't even hear what I said.
I did hear what you said, and I want to know if you wanted to continue.
Here's my problem. I like when government is contentious. I like when they're fighting amongst themselves, because that's the only way you get a true vision, a true view. The idea that we let presidents appoint these bureaucrats and pretend that they're the highest law officer in the land. To her argument on her, you're right. He has Trump's back in the same way Eric Holder was a hitman for Obama.
Well, Eric Holder described himself, his own words were that he was the wingman for President Trump.
Sickening.
Now, what would Nancy Pelosi say to that? Nothing, of course, because it was Obama. Dan from McHenry, good morning. Hi, Dan.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
So my connection's kind of messed up, but I was going to say two things. One, I think Barr has integrity. I don't think he would have said this and I think he's smart. I don't think he would have said this unless he had something behind it. And two, does this invalidate what all the Dems were saying about Trump's claim that there was surveillance done?
Yes.
Way back before the investigation even started, right?
No, he said that he was being wiretapped, and technically, but the thrust of it was true. I mean, yes, he was being his campaign was being surveilled, and you have to reach an awfully high threshold in order to do that, and I don't think the Democrats did that. Thanks so much, Dan. Your connection was clear.
And that's the problem when you pretend that we have gods among men and you put them in charge of these bureaucracies, and we pretend that somehow they have our principles, our dignity, and our integrity. They don't. How many times you got to get hit in the face before you realize, put your hands up?
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Well, folks, you've heard Dan talk about Northridge Prep before and how much he loves their paper and pen approach in the classroom. No one to iPads or Chromebooks, nothing, zero distractions. Well, we talked to a current Northridge Prep mom about the many schools that jumped on this tech bandwagon, and she said, quote, I've heard from many teachers that no matter how many web filters and whatnot you put on it, the boys always figure it out and get around the filters. The boys snap photos, download games. It's a huge distraction. I just don't see the benefit of computers in class. Everyone jumped on that bandwagon, and I think that schools with large funds recognize them as something positive. But I applaud Northridge Prep for not jumping on that bandwagon and really recognizing what's best for the boys, unquote. It's not backwards or antiquated. It is just common sense. So go online today at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
What is certainty? Certainty is the passionate commitment to fulfill every promise. Certainty is 4imprint, a caring, trusted team of promotional product experts, minding every detail to ensure your logo will look perfect on everything from apparel, drinkware to trade show traffic stoppers, and hot tech. All delivered on time, every time, with the promise of your satisfaction guaranteed. So, what does certainty bring? Promotional items exceeding expectations, a buzz of excitement for your team and your customers, a pep in your step, a fist pump, a whoop, a tingle, a grin, a laugh, or even one quiet word that no one will ever hear. Yes! Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. That's the number 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Feeling sore from working out hard, maybe doing some spring cleaning, or do you want to boost your immune system? Well, if either of those are interest you, then you should try Balance of Nature. It is 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. No preservatives, no dyes. And you hear the testimonials here on the air all the time, and let me tell you, they are real. Okay, folks? And the price of fruits and veggies is about to go up, but if you call or go online right now, you can lock in your price for the fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order, but you've got to use the promo code Chicago. Use that when you call, and the number there is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Ruthie Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy.
Finally, a good song.
This portion brought to you by Salerno Butter Cookies and by Salem Cigarettes. Take a puff and it's springtime.
Remember when your doctor recommended Pall Mall? Remember?
Why? Because the
lowest
they were
nicotine.
filtered?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's when men were men.
So Maxine Waters yesterday, and I don't know if she was joking or not or trying to do something for effect, but it seems like she was just plain ignorant, and I think there's a rebuttable presumption that Maxine Waters is just plain ignorant. She's this chairman of the committee in which she had all these bankers in front of them, and she started querying them.
Thank you. Today, there are more than 44 million Americans that owe this is student loan crisis. $1.56 trillion in student loan debt. Last month, this committee received testimony that last year 1 million student loan borrowers defaulted, which is on top of the 1 million borrowers who defaulted the year before. What are you guys doing to help us with the student loan debt? Who would like to answer first? Mr. Monahan, Big Bank.
We stopped making student loans in 2007 or so.
Oh, so you don't do it anymore, Mr. Corbett?
We exited student lending in 2009.
Mr. Diamond?
When the government took over student lending in 2010 or so, we stopped doing all student lending.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So they don't do it anymore because you, in your infinite wisdom, or the Obama administration, nationalized student loans. So what do you expect the banks to do about it? Now, maybe she was just doing that for effect, or maybe she's just plain ignorant.
The best part is Aunt Esther, as I like to refer to her, Aunt Esther was part of the force that helped nationalize the student loans.
Of course. So
they don't even know what they're
she
doing.
She wants to blame them. It's like Kirsten Gillibrand yesterday. Well, of course, she was a cheerleader for Bernie Sanders. I mean, imagine that. Somebody's running for president of the United States standing next to Bernie Sanders, and she was going rah-rah while he was talking about health care. Do you realize that, and they blame Trump for his malapropisms and not knowing what the nuclear triad is and this and that. Kirsten Gillibrand actually the other day said that she was against tactile nuclear weapons. Tactile. I know that,
it might be a little slippage.
Well, we want to touch your arsenal when we're tactile. But they're tactical nuclear weapons, and John Bolton found that very, very funny. If you don't know the difference between tactical and strategic nuclear weapons, how can you deliberate on them and how much we should have of each?
So she was told to bring this up, and she was told because the reality of
Who
this...
is she? Pronoun antecedent here. Waters
Aunt
or Gillibrand?
Esther.
Yeah,
Aunt
Waters.
Esther,
Okay.
because she is aware of just how devastating and how this is going to be one of the future catalysts to the next depression, is that the body politic has underwritten, once again, loans that should have never been given and were thrust upon, in many cases, borrowers. So, I laugh because the disclosure laws, and you know this as a lawyer, the disclosure laws of private lending are arduous, so much so that private banks in some cases have to hire people just to deal with the regulations, right? But one of the most important loans you're ever going to take in your life, they give it to the stupidest and uninformed among us because the government insists they're uninformed.
All those loans are going to be forgiven.
They're never forgiven.
The government loans are going to be forgiven. We'll just kick that can down the road, too.
They love the problem.
What is going to happen, Sean? I mean, we're talking about, in a number of years, as the Reverend Wright, and of course I always say two wrongs don't make a Reverend Right, but as he said many, many years ago, the chickens will come home to roost.
They won't.
What's going to happen in a number of years when all these loans come due and nobody can pay them?
They won't, and nothing will happen.
And you know what happens? You can't pay a student loan. You cannot then start a family. People are delaying starting families or not having them at all. It causes such societal wreckage, all in the name of getting a liberal arts education at Behemoth U.
Whether it's a person or a government, you could never borrow this kind of money if you intended on paying it back. So what you asked what's going to happen? Nothing. They're going to figure out a way to default and walk away because that's the mind of today's citizen. They want to be a scumbag, and they're going to do it come hell or high water. They just have to figure out how to justify it.
Well, since the big banks got to walk away a number of years ago, why shouldn't the students of America get to walk away as well?
And it's the faux outrage. You just have to have the right villain. And we can forget about the fact it was the government that forced the big banks to give the bad loans.
Speaking of walking away or waiting for the bailout, the state of Illinois, and we'll discuss all of that with Kristen McQuarrie of the Chicago Tribune, the State House chick, right after the news with Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
Peek at the sun, and we may top out at 58 later today after a chilly start to the morning. Whistleblower Edward Snowden said moments ago that today's arrest of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is a dark moment for press freedom. Assange was arrested by British police inside the Ecuadorian embassy after spending 7 years there under diplomatic protection. He could be heard shouting about resistance after he was hauled out of the embassy in London today.
You must resist. You can resist.
Assange has been wanted by British authorities since skipping out on bail in 2012. A suspect under arrest connected to a string of fires at black churches in Louisiana. A Lafayette television station there reporting police arrested a 21-year-old Holden Matthews. Also, local media reporting he is the son of a local deputy sheriff. Former White House counsel Gregory Craig says he expects to be charged in the coming days for legal work he did for the Ukrainian government In 2012, Craig served in the Obama administration and worked for Paul Manafort. A judge has ruled that spousal privilege laws prevent certain evidence from being used at the trial of the wife of a police lieutenant who killed himself and made it look like it was a line-of-duty death. The Waukegan News-Sun reporting that a Lake County judge ruled yesterday that Tex prosecutors say prove their theft case against Melody Glinowitz cannot be used at trial. Chicago police are investigating after a man was attacked at a Blue Line station stop in the Loop. No one is in custody. Police are investigating another deadly mass shooting in Chicago in the East Garfield Park neighborhood. 2 of the victims are dead. A third person is in critical condition. Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot preaching unity to Illinois lawmakers. Lightfoot paying a visit to the state capitol yesterday. She addressed the House of Representatives. She said Chicago and the rest of the state may share many common problems that can be solved collectively without the bitterness that usually exists between the rest of the state and those in Cook County and Chicago. And another group of Chicago charter schools could be headed for a strike. CTU announcing yesterday that members voted to authorize a work stoppage at several schools, including the Health Sciences Career Academy and the Justice Leadership Academy. Bulls season is over, thankfully, after a 125-109 loss to the Sixers. Baseball, both of our teams are 3-8. Pirates 5-2 winners over the Cubs. Tampa Bay a 9-1 winner over the White Sox. The news, a service of Accountemps, payroll, bookkeeping, and month end. Feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 7:35. Let's check the roads. The AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
The eastbound Reagan Tollway is jammed. Highland to 22nd after a crash. The northbound Tri-State has delays. 111th to 75th. The Stevenson to 31st. Then from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Eastbound Adams Tollway is tight 2 to Lee. Edens, 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 56 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 27 from Montrose. 26 in the Express. Eisenhower, 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Manheim. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan is 30 minutes from 95th to downtown. I-57, 26 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishopport 21. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy. Belmont to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, a windy day ahead and milder this afternoon with a high near 58. Cloudy, heavy storms, breezy overnight, a low of 46 degrees. Currently in Chicago, 37 degrees, a wind chill index of 26 above. Your next news update is at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
on AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Our top story, consent condom requires 4 hands to open, making powerful statement about consent. All I know is it takes 2 hands to handle a Whopper. But seriously, we are joined, Sean. We got to get serious.
Tough leading.
It's no longer the man show right now because there's
also,
a link. Yes,
an
go ahead.
Elmhurst Cigar House customer at one time.
Really?
Yes,
you
she
allow
is.
women? You allow the distaff side
Only
inside?
the good ones.
Hey, look, Augusta National, the Masters is going on right now, had a women's golf tournament on Saturday. Augusta National had a women's golf tournament.
Even the husbands didn't watch.
So Kristen McQuarrie, a.k.a. State House Chick, that's her Twitter handle, Chicago Tribune writer, joins us right now. Good morning, Kristen. Thanks for coming on.
Hello, boys. How are you?
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
So, Kristen, the other day, Governor Pritzker trotted out his easel and his message board and wanted to show everybody that his progressive income tax for the state, 97% of the Illinois taxpayers will benefit from this. And of course, it reminded me of when Michael Jordan said he was 99.9% sure that he was retired, and he came back. So the higher the number, the less I'm sure of the number. What say you to this?
I mean, the biggest issue with futzing with the Constitution is that we will be allowing Springfield to mess with these numbers whenever they want. So, yes, the initial numbers that Pritzker put out, which, by the way, almost every nonpartisan economic group has said don't add up, most of Illinoisans will not see a tax increase. That doesn't mean they're going to see their taxes drop. They're just not going to see them go up, except for people making $250,000 or more. The bigger issue is, why in the world would voters give more authority to Springfield to spend and change these tax rates and tinker with them from now into perpetuity, given the financial mismanagement that Springfield has already shown that they're capable of? That's the biggest question.
I think it's because a lot of the people in Illinois are pretty much benefactors of the welfare state it's become. And there are so many things I want to ask you.
Or even beneficiaries.
Whatever.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm the benefactor. There are so many things I want to ask you. Really, I don't know if I should go with the Kim Foxx, if I should go with the
she's the state
DHS bigger budget, or if I should go with the fact, am I the only one who thinks Lori Lightfoot looks like Peter Lorre? I can't figure it out, but I'm really upset about the TIF agreement and the skullduggery that goes on in these agreements for developers.
That was a huge missed opportunity for Lori Lightfoot, the incoming mayor, the progressive, the person who's going to revive the South and West Sides. She could have slowed it down. She could have stopped it. That is a huge tax giveaway, the biggest TIF now development in Lincoln Yards. And remember, why do you think developers want TIFs so badly? There are other economic tools they could seek out. They want TIFs because it freezes their property taxes for 23 years. And whatever they owe on top of that, as their value of their property grows, they do have to pay, but that money gets invested into their own development. So they increase the value of their own development using what should have been tax dollars, and their property taxes are frozen.
So
there's no way that those should have been approved.
So she's still mayor-elect Lightfoot, right? So, or is she
it's
the
all
mayor?
the same.
Is she the mayor right now?
In Chicago,
Kristen?
it's all the same.
I'm sorry. I know Rahm Emanuel had his last city council meeting yesterday, but I mean, right off the bat, she's got her own parking meter deal before
City
she
runs
even
itself.
says,
Don't
before
worry
she
about
even
it.
says I do. Yesterday, she was down in Springfield, and I read the Tribune story on it so that I didn't have to actually watch her down in Springfield, but it sounded like so much boilerplate that she was talking about. So here's the reformer that we brought in, or you did, or because I haven't lived in the city since 1958, but it sounds like the same old, same old. It's like Animal Farm. Once again, you know, the pigs join the farmers and nothing ever changes. Is this a harbinger of badness?
Well, I mean, being a conservative-leaning person, being a fiscal conservative in this city and state, she was never going to represent the sort of policy choices that you or I would want. So her going to Springfield, let her enjoy a little rock star status. She does, in fact, support a graduated income tax. She's counting on Springfield sending her some revenue through legalized recreational marijuana and such. So she should be in Springfield a lot, actually, because Rahm did not go down there except for one time to preach about pensions, and then he didn't do anything after that. I think the reason that Lori Lightfoot was popular and the reason she still gets to wear the reform credential for now is that she is coming in as a federal prosecutor. And I think once she is sworn in, I'm counting on her. She has said she will do some things to remove aldermanic privilege, to sort of just get rid of the nonsense of you have to kiss the ring of the alderman in order to get an awning above your business in the ward. So that part of her still remains to be seen.
And to that extent, she's good. And I know that your colleague John Cass, a friend of ours, is ecstatic over this because he's all about the corruption. And I mean, and I understand that. I mean, Ed Burke gets reelected even though the feds have the goods on him because he wanted to play hardball, and that's just the Chicago way. So to that extent, it's good. But and of course, if she turns on, she says she's going to look into what Kim Foxx did. But if she winds up caving on that, then we know that, it didn't matter who got elected. It may as well have been Preckwinkle then, right?
I think so. I mean, she has said by executive order, and I'm sure she'll be challenged a little bit, that she is going to try to remove aldermanic privilege. That would be a huge step forward for Chicago, because that is something that has just been expanded and expanded. I mean, that's why Lincoln Yards got as far as it got. Even though there's very few people who actually support the project, the aldermen supported it and pushed it and coddled it and changed it. And because he is in favor of it, that's why it got as far as it got.
But the fact that she just did what she shouldn't have done and accepted it, doesn't it just prove that she's hot air from a very short platform? That is really, I don't think they're aware, Kristen, of what a national joke we are. We're, like Jazz Shaw will write in his paper and his blog, after all, it's Chicago. Don't you think the tolerance of the Illinoisan, the Chicagoan in particular, that reelects that drunken bum wannabe mobster like Ed Burke, and he says yesterday, well, it's always nice when you see a politician leave willingly, meaning the only way they only leave is when they're dragged out by the authorities. Isn't it just too far gone to ever correct?
I mean, I definitely feel that hopelessness a lot, because the tolerance of voters in Illinois is just indescribable. We're so numb to just terrible management of state government and city government. These are things that would never happen in other states. You would not have a Speaker of the House who also had a side gig doing property tax appeals work that has been shown to be harmful to minority communities and basically a corrupt system. We are numb to all of this. I hope that the fact that Lori Lightfoot, she really came from behind in that race. She didn't have the money. She didn't have the machine. She didn't have the organization, and she won resoundingly everywhere. I do hope that is a sense that we're a little bit more woke as a city than we were before Burke was arrested.
Well, it's nice. It actually is nice to have an African American, openly gay. We cover all the bases right there. So we've made up for a lot of years of Irish guys.
I want a masochist
but
next.
Here's the thing. So I guess since we're inured to all this, it's just foolishness for us to discuss the fact that whatever Pritzker's doing, he's not going to raise the money that is needed to cover all the pension and health benefit costs of all the state workers. And the numbers don't really add up, do they?
There's no way to catch up with how far behind we are without taxing Illinoisans to a point where the only people left will be J.B. Pritzker and his wife. I mean, the numbers just don't add up. They will once again do what they've done in the past, like float a pension bond where they're basically paying off one credit card with another credit card, because these payments, they do have to make these payments. The problem is the unfunded liability keeps growing even when we are making the payments.
You know what's going to happen, Kristen? It's going to be they're all banking on Bernie Sanders becoming the president and the bailout. It's going to be the bailout of the blue states. You watch, and then there'll be the secession by the red states. I mean, that's what this is, just kicking the can down the road till you get the bailout, because they're always just they're just playing with themselves, so to speak, on this, right?
Careful.
Be careful.
Here, this is a family show.
I'm sorry.
Let me
Hit
ask
the
a
delay.
question. Let me once again save the show. So last week, there was a state senator. His name is irrelevant, and he proposed a doubling of the gas tax. I was so outraged that I actually didn't follow up. I knew it passed. Is it a law now? Do you know where that is, where they're doubling the gas tax?
Well, they are correct in that the federal government has not raised the sales tax on gasoline since like the mid to early 90s. But the state has, and then the city has, and lots of municipalities have their own separate fund, little add-on to the sales tax. So the reason we have among the highest gas prices when gas prices jump in the summer is not because of the price of oil. It's because of all of the taxes that we attach to every gallon of gas. So, I mean, that is a tax that, if you have to consider some tax to be popular among lawmakers, it sort of is, because it's at least user-based. But that sort of idea has been introduced over and over again, and it rarely goes anywhere. The worry is that they are talking about a huge capital bill again, even though we just had one in 2010 that was $31 billion. And, of course, we haven't paid off all the bills that were spent for infrastructure then. And they will try to attach a gas tax to all those little ribbon-cutting projects that lawmakers like.
Kristen, thanks so much for joining us. I want to apologize for some of my language. I was slouching towards Gomorrah there, and the spirit of Robert Bork will not be happy with me. But, sometimes I get exercised over these things. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Kristen McQuarrie, Twitter handle Statehouse Chick. And
one of my favorite customers.
She writes for the Chicago Tribune. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I had carpal tunnel. It went to my left hand and made it sort of like number or stiff, but I've noticed my left hand seems to be getting better. I know that this stuff did it because what I was taking before, it never changed it. I'm starting to notice near the baby finger and the other thing, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What the heck? Oh, and I figure it must be from them daggone fruits and vegetables, because that's the only thing that's changed in my life.
From now until April 21st, receive a 20% discount and free shipping on any first order of Balance of Nature. Again, this special radio offer will only be available through April 21st. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com.
To take advantage of this special discount, use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, it's tax season again. And the April 15th deadline is right around the corner. If you haven't filed your tax returns the past few years or for several years, or maybe you're just in debt to the IRS and don't know what to do or who to turn to, I want you to write down this name and number or save it in your phone. Attorney Stephen Leahy, 312-664-6649. Stephen will help you. Stephen's a friend of the show, a friend of AM 560, a host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard every Sunday afternoon at 5. You can trust Attorney Leahy to help solve your IRS problems. He's local, right here in Chicago, available to meet with you one-on-one. If you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, visit you at your home or job, and now they can even take your passport, you need to talk to the trusted attorney of AM 560, Attorney Stephen Leahy. Call 312-664-6649. Attorney Leahy will solve your IRS problems for good. Call 312-664-6649 or visit chicagotaxteam.com. chicagotaxteam.com.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal, from fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
My name is David Hochberg at Team Hochberg. This analogy will explain how my competitors deceive you into doing business with them. Say a gas station is selling gas for $2 a gallon, and the station across the street is selling gas for $1. Naturally, you're thinking the $1 a gallon is a better deal. Wrong, because you're only getting a half a gallon and not a full gallon of gas for $1. My competitors deceive listeners by quoting ridiculously low interest rates. After sucking you in, they drill you with substantially higher closing costs. Team Hochberg has never and will never play these disgusting and deceiving games. If you want to work with an honest local lender who will always look out for your financial best interest, give Team Hochberg a call now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Legal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License, MB 6761019, NMLS 1124061.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from the Maribel Distinct Luxury Residences. We're on our Passport to Paradise vacation in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico, and one of the nice things I like about this complex, and really even to compare it to complexes that we've gone to before, the resorts we've gone to before, is very cigar-friendly here. And I really enjoyed it.
It's way too cigar
There's no such thing.
No, I just think it's kind of rude. All right, so we went golfing one day, and Garrett was there, and he was smoking the entire 5 hours.
So was I. And it
no,
was 4
but you
hours.
took breaks sometimes. You did take a break. And also, too, you don't sit in the cart and drive with the people. You go out and walk to get your
I
ball.
like to walk.
So it wasn't constantly in my face. And I love Garrett from Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. And when my air conditioner breaks down, I will be calling him.
Sure.
But he smokes a lot of cigar. I'm worried about his health. Isn't it bad for your lungs? I mean, I know you don't inhale, right?
How long did George Burns live?
102.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not too cigar friendly. You can smoke.
You can smoke
by
in
the
the pool.
You smoke in the pool. And by the way, Miss Jacobson,
Mm-hmm.
you elitist, this is everybody's air. It's not just your air.
Oh, okay.
So if Garrett and I want to take a long walk on the beach and smoke cigars and talk about our feelings and our plans for running away from leaving this all behind, then that's our business. And you just don't interrupt that.
Okay.
Just leave it alone.
All right, yeah.
All right?
I always give him the stink eye, too, and he doesn't pick up on it.
No, because
I
he
give him that,
picks up on it. He doesn't care. That's the difference. Yeah. That's just why Garrett and I get along so well.
Okay.
It's not just the cigars,
And is
it's
he
the attitude.
supplying you with the cigars, or
No,
are you giving him cigars?
I have my own. We're both cigar
underground
aficionados.
cigar tunnel?
He has his stash of Perdomo. I've got my stash of The Leaf by Oscar. And, I mean, we couldn't be happier here and together. Dan and Amy coming to you live in cigar-friendly Nuevo Vallarta at the Maraval Distinct Luxury Residences. We're on our Passport to Paradise vacation.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last time you ever have to worry about hair loss. Because Bosley is the real deal. They're giving women and men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started is a single text message. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you text TRUST to 85850. Bosley will show you, for free, how great your hair could look. You'll also see, for free, why you're losing hair and how to get it back. Women and men all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert. Ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part? Bosley has permanent solutions to hair loss. You'll love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to send a text. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting TRUST to 85850. Don't forget, that's TRUST to 85850.
Hi, my name's Ken, and I own Good Start Packaging in Bedford, New Hampshire. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. And last year, that added up to $36,000 in cash back. That's right, $36,000. Thanks to that, I was able to offer health care to my employees. The Spark Cash Card did a lot for my business. Imagine what it could do for yours. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers paid for real stories. Credit approval required.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial 3.
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
It's HealthQuest Radio, Chicagoland's longest-running health, news, and science show with your host, Dr. David Kolbaba.
You know, people who age slower live longer. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. We can compare your biologic age with your chronologic age to determine how fast you're aging. Just a few seconds to safely scan for those advanced glycation end products that cause premature aging. And I'll pay for your first assessment. That's right, your first one is free. Then we'll give you a few things to do and retest in 60 days. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. But you gotta call our HealthQuest radio hotline at 800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855. First one free if you make that call right now. Some conditions and restrictions to apply. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. Call 800-794-1855. It's HealthQuest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
WIND, Chicago.
It is bitterly disappointing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Julian Assange's attorney calls this morning's arrest in Britain, adding it's an unprecedented effort by the U.S. to go after a foreign journalist for publishing truthful information. Fox's Simon Owens live in London.
Dave, police here saying they arrested Julian Assange on behalf of US authorities, setting up a potential court battle over attempts to extradite him. A US official saying the Justice Department is to announce charges. Assange spent nearly 7 years inside Ecuador's London embassy, but his stay came to an abrupt end this morning. Police say they were invited into the facility after the Ecuadorian government revoked Assange's asylum. Dave.
And Simon, Ecuador also stripped Assange of citizenship, accusing WikiLeaks of Russian hackers of trying to destabilize that country's government. Meanwhile, Edward Snowden, the American who fled to Russia after leaking NSA secrets uncovering surveillance programs, tweeted, "Police dragging a publisher of award-winning journalism, like it or not, will end up in the history books." A coup in Sudan. The president there under arrest. The defense minister announced it wearing a military uniform on state TV. For the first time since President Trump walked away from his second summit with North Korea's leader, he'll meet with South Korea's president at the White House later today.
The two are likely to talk about the existing alliance, as well as pathways to denuclearizing North Korea, which says it plans to cut off its participation in nuclear talks until it gets some kind of concession from the U.S.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Winter's back.
I'd already put my snowplow away, and I was figuring we were done for the year.
Nope. From where he is in Minnesota over to Utah, there's a big storm hitting.
Bringing the potential for not only very strong winds, but we could see upwards of a foot or more of snow.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean, there are whiteout conditions. Nebraska into the Dakotas, knocking out power, closing schools, causing hundreds of car crashes, and hundreds of flights are canceled. This is Fox.
Skies are gray and very gusty winds today, actually giving us pretty stiff wind chill of about 23 degrees this morning. Officially, it is 34 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Suburban Sleepy Hollow man accused of attacking two of his neighbors is due in bond court this morning. Police say Fabian Torres stabbed and sexually assaulted a 19-year-old woman before stabbing her 17-year-old brother. King County prosecutors are not revealing what exact charges will be filed. The suspect previously served prison time for tossing a Molotov cocktail into a crowded Algonquin grocery store in 2011. Mayor Emanuel became emotional while presiding over his final city council meeting as mayor yesterday, a council meeting that saw Chicago aldermen give the green light to a pair of massive construction projects, the Lincoln Yards and the 78 projects.
The opportunity to serve with you, to serve the people of the city of Chicago, the greatest city in the greatest country on earth, the most American of American cities, has truly been the highest honor of my career.
Meantime, Chicago police this morning are investigating after a man was attacked at a Blue Line station in the Loop, and police are investigating a deadly shooting in Chicago's East Garfield Park neighborhood on the city's west side. Two of the victims of that shooting are dead. A third person is in critical condition. The Bulls season over following a loss to the Sixers, 125-109. Pirates beat the Cubs 5-2, and the Rays swept out the White Sox with a 9-1 win. Masters is already teed off at Augusta National this morning, led off by your honorary starters, Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network, Dow futures are higher as we move towards the open. The Federal Reserve releasing the minutes of its latest meeting, confirming the central bank's intention to keep interest rates steady, at least for now. A federal judge is threatening to stop Carnival from docking its ships at U.S. ports. That could be punishment for possibly violating its probation. Carnival has been on probation for the last 2 years for dumping oil into the ocean from its Princess cruise ships. Disney getting into the streaming business. The entertainment giant is expected to show off its Disney Plus streaming service during its Investors' Day today. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Respectfully, if you can pull your head out of your Trump love right now.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The President of the United States should not be attacking a dead man. There's just got to be a certain level of decency that we expect from our president. If you want Trump to win in 2020, this kind of crap is going to kill it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights, starting at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Dr. Mike Andriano of Trinity Holistic Health Center. Over the last 25 years, I noticed that I and many of my patients lost the ability to lose weight. Detoxes, starvation, low fat, low carb, nothing works. Even with small appetites and healthy food, we still gain weight. And if we do lose a few pounds, one slip up and it all comes right back. For years, I searched for answers and finally discovered that toxins cause inflammation, and inflammation blocks hormones from telling your body to burn fat. Not just any inflammation, but inflammation at the cell membrane. Diets and detoxes don't address the root cause of weight loss resistance, but we do. My practice concentrates on finding and fixing the root cause of your problem, not just covering up symptoms.
If this sounds like you, go to lifedoc.am or call 1-833-LIFEDOC and learn how you can get help to lose those extra pounds once and for all. That's lifedoc.am or call 1-833-LIFE-DOC.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
8:07, a check on your morning commute. We do that in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
Metro train movement is stopped on the BNSF line near Union Station due to signal problems. CTA Red Line trains are stopped at Granville with mechanical issues. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 28. Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, 33 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown, 49 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson is an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 33 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, 26 minutes from I-80 to the Merge. Tri-State southbound at Seville Plain to Bradley, 22 to Deerfield Road, northbound Cicero to 31st, Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A lakeshore flood advisory in effect this morning. It'll be cloudy, windy, mild, a couple of showers, thunderstorm for late this afternoon, high 58. Cloudy and breezy thunderstorms tonight, low 46. Clouds and breezy tomorrow, the high 52. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
38 at O'Hare with a wind chill of 28 above. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Ding, 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 ding. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. And in just a moment, we're going to talk to Grover Norquist.
I can't wait.
Of the Americans for Tax Reform. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Ted Nugent, local story. Ted Nugent was invited to play at the McHenry County Fair this year. But apparently there's some backlash against Ted. For the Democrats of McHenry County, the Democratic Women's Club, one Julie Bilmack says, the issue for me is his history of acknowledging his pedophilia and his affinity for, heavy weaponry. To that I say, I'm offended by the Dems who are offended but don't mention Nugent's anti-Semitism.
Stop wasting the time with the sexually frustrated menopausal. Grover Norquist is on the line.
That said, Dan Proft and I once interviewed Ted Nugent, and he said that Jesse Jackson was out of his, quote, cotton-picking mind, end quote. Dan and I rolled our eyes up in our heads at that time. But, the guy inspired Chet Chit Chat Fever, the song with Cat Scratch Fever. So I'm ambivalent about Ted Nugent.
Let's visit mediocrity later.
Out now. Grover Norquist joins us now. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Top of the morning.
Absolutely.
Can't believe he didn't hang up. I can't believe you didn't hang up.
Grover Norquist is not going to hang up when he has a chance to deliver the message. And I have to ask you this, Grover. I mean, it's the American public stupid because there was the story a few months ago, or as we turned over into the new year and people were starting to pay attention to the fact that they had to pay their income taxes. Oh, look, I'm not getting a refund. That's because less was withheld. People don't understand that. People can't do the math, right?
As a teaching moment, it's even better than that.
Okay.
The establishment press spent a year, actually 675 days, 2 years, talking about anything other than cutting taxes and the economic growth that flowed from that. That's the 675 days was the Mueller report, which did its job, which was to distract everybody from the successes of the Republican Congress and the Trump presidency, the tax cuts, the higher growth, the higher wages, the 6 million new jobs, all of these things. They didn't want to talk about. They wanted to talk about anything else would do, okay? And so when there was this report that for a week or two of 12 months, that some of the average refund was lower than last year, okay? Completely meaningless statistic in anybody's life because all it means is if you got a lower refund, it meant you didn't pay the government too much money, right? You didn't give them as large a interest-free loan as you did the previous year. That's a good thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. But they said it in a way that sounded like you weren't really getting a tax cut, which is not at all what it is. And even the people on national radio, national TV, are smart enough to know they're lying, that equating tax refunds with tax cuts. Well, it turns out that when you went for several months, as you get closer to April 11th, the average refund is almost exactly the same this year as last. It's just that 90% of taxpayers have significantly lower taxes.
No,
what were they doing? Talking about something other than the tax.
Right. Here's the thing. The people are such infants in this country. The infantilization of America, and I know this is in Sean's bailiwick. They want the government to hold their money for them because they're afraid they'll spend it. They want the government to take away their guns because they're afraid they'll use it on themselves. I mean, that's the whole thing. And
that's the mindset of a slave, yes. And Grover deals with it all the time. And my question, Grover, I've followed your career for a long time. What kind of shower do you have? What kind of flow on the shower do you have to get clean enough after dealing with the kind of scoundrels you must deal with on a daily basis? And the overall idea that we are arguing about our idea of an acceptable atrocity against an American ideal of our income tax, where we've accepted this progressive tax and we're just arguing the pressure rather than the principle. And I find that it is almost a sense of hopelessness. And I wonder if you ever get that way, knowing that we are using this as a weapon, as a political baton against people who are not in power. I find it just disheartening. And I'm wondering, are we ever going to get to the only thing that's constitutional, a flat tax? Are we ever going to get to it?
I think so. Prior to emigrating to the United States, I used to live in Massachusetts. And there, very deep blue Massachusetts, we have a flat tax, a single rate tax. 5 times the voters in Massachusetts have cast a ballot. Would you like to go to a graduated or progressive income tax? 5 times George McGovern, Ted Kennedy, Massachusetts voted no. Illinois has a single rate tax. I know the left keeps trying to get rid of it, but Colorado has a single rate tax. 9 states have a single rate tax of zero, which is one of the better numbers to have is flat rate tax of. Flat rate taxes help keep taxes low because when politicians want to steal people's money, they have to look at everybody in the eye and say, everybody, I want everybody's attention. I've got this really good idea and I want your money. And people say, you know what? It better be really good because we're all listening. What Obama did and what Bill Clinton did was they said, I'm only going to loot 1% or 2%. So some of you may want to step out of the room. This is going to get noisy and unpleasant, but it's not you, it's them. So it's okay. And if you divide people up, once you've worked over the 1% to 2%, you come back for the gas tax and the energy tax and all those sorts of things where everybody else gets whacked. Politicians love a graduated income tax. You can divide people into different groups, mug them one at a time.
That's great, and it's a gateway to graduating the tax for the middle class as well, because first you get the rich people who will move out because they are able to, or they'll find a way around it. And, of course, you will lose all the stimulation of a business in a state. It doesn't work. It's going on in Illinois right now. Pritzker just came out with it the other day saying that 97% of the taxpayers will see a benefit on this. Of course, he's got nothing in there about paying for the pensions. You know, that's the elephant in the room as well as Pritzker. But the
year one, you may have 98% not affected. Years 2, 3, and 4, every other state that has graduated income tax, like California, the reason you have high tax rates on the rich is so you can go to the middle class and say, see, that guy's paying 10. You don't mind 5. And they go, 5? I used to pay 2. You know, the difference between the United States and Sweden, Norway, Finland is not how they tax rich people. They tax rich people a little higher than we do. But their tax on the absolute middle income is about 10 to 20% more than in the United States. And they use tax the rich as the battle cry. You know how somebody jostles you or at the time when they put their hand in your pocket to steal your wallet, they're trying to distract you. Okay? They say,
Bruce calls it
look,
prom.
Rich people, we're going to tax them. And their hand goes right into your bank account, right into your wallet. And then they turn around, and when you get mad at them, they say, you shouldn't complain. We only cut one of your fingers off. That guy, we cut 3 fingers off. You should be happy.
Well, so in other words, what you're saying is that Governor Pritzker, even though he looks like, you know, a shambling guy, he's actually the Artful Dodger. And he's going to bamboozle everyone. You're telling me that you came from the People's Republic of Massachusetts, and even they won't go to a progressive income tax, but Illinois is going to lead the way to the end of the universe for us. It's going to ultimately result in a bailout, isn't it? For this, that's what we're waiting for here in Illinois, is for Bernie Sanders to become the president.
I got news for you in Illinois. The rest of the country will not bail you out. The rest of the country will not bail you out because a number of states, Utah, for instance, moved all of their pensions from defined benefit to defined contribution, meaning like a 401k or an IRA. So 25 years from now, they'll have no unfunded liabilities at all, okay? And they're much better off. Enough states are fixing their pensions enough. And, you know, it's not easy. You got to make some changes. People were lied to about what they were going to get. You got to come up with honest answers and numbers and how you're going to make it work. Nobody is going to raise taxes on their state to bail out Illinois when Rhode Island, for crying out loud, Rhode Island did a great deal to fix their pension. New Jersey took $30 billion out of their pension deficit and debt. And we look over, and Illinois is not even breaking a sweat thinking about someday doing something about their pension system. And so when they go, can you guys give us like $1 gajillion because we forgot? And the answer is no.
So by my math,
just
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
By my
just if a politician tells you there's a bailout coming, there isn't, and they know it.
They're not saying it. They're not saying it, but they're going to look to it. They're going to look to Bernie Sanders. But go ahead, Sean.
In my math, I've got you doing this for 35 years. Am I right?
That's about right, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got you doing this for 35 years. Are you astonished at the appetite in those 35 years or the willingness for Americans? Either they don't rationalize that debt is tax. and that policies are tax? Or are you just astonished by their willingness to accept it? I remember being a kid, and there was all the outrage among citizens when there would be debt accumulation. And in this current America, I'm upset with the complacency of citizens. Even the Republicans, as long as there's a Republican president, they don't say anything anymore. And what is your opinion on that? And how does that translate into tax? Do they just have to keep hiding it? Or how can they, is that the plan? Just forget Illinois bailout. Who's going to bail out America?
Look, we made some real progress with Trump's presidency, the Republican House and Senate on tax cuts. We were planning on doing entitlement reform like we did welfare reform, which Bill Clinton signed after he vetoed it twice, for Medicaid and the various welfare programs where you get money for being poor, not because you paid into it like Social Security or Medicare. We can solve a great deal of the unfunded liabilities problems. State by state, people have to move their pensions from defined benefit to defined contribution to a 401k IRA where you actually save ahead. You know, the U.S. Army and Navy and Air Force is moving to a defined contribution plan. They just started this now. So it used to be only 16% of people who wore a uniform in this country ever saw a pension, because if you weren't there for like 20 years, you didn't get much or anything. And if everybody in the Marines is there for less than 8, except a handful of officers. So people would cycle through, and while they were contributing to the country, nothing was being saved for them in terms of a pension like 401k. Now they can do this. They can have a 401k. So we are getting people in the government sector 401ks, individual retirement accounts, so that they can move from job to job and still keep their retirement with them. And the great thing about a 401k or an IRA is you hold on to your money. You decide where to invest it. You hold on to it. The government doesn't say, when you get to be 55, 60, we're going to have money for you, and then you trust them. And then when you get there, the guys in Detroit go, and all my money? You say, oh, we forgot.
Sorry, Grover, you're going to get us dragging. We're going to be kicking and screaming. There's no way we're going to have you take care of us. Grover, thanks so much for joining us. Always enlightening. Very nice talking to you. Grover Norquist, Americans for Tax Reform.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
Feeling sore from working out hard, maybe doing some spring cleaning? Or do you want to boost your immune system? Well, if either of those are interest you, then you should try Balance of Nature. It is 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. No preservatives, no dyes. And you hear the testimonials here on the air all the time. And let me tell you, they are real. Okay, folks? And the price of fruits and veggies is about to go up. But if you call or go online right now, you can lock in your price for the fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. But you've got to use the promo code Chicago. Use that when you call. And the number there is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Custom designed and constructed homes are only as good as their foundation. Likewise, choosing a custom home builder to build your forever family home is the foundational decision for the biggest investment of your life. Trust the experience and vision of McNaughton Development to make your dream home a reality. McNaughton has a proven track record of building high-quality, award-winning custom-designed homes throughout the Chicagoland suburbs and will guide you through every aspect of the home building process, from finding the perfect lot to working with preferred architects, project managers, and in-house designers for selections and customizations, to a successful walkthrough and close of your forever home. Find out more about partnering with McNaughton Development to turn your home vision into a reality. Visit LuxuryCustomConstruction.com to explore everything currently available, including Lakeside Point and Waterview Estates of Burr Ridge, Copperleaf of Downers Grove, Chestnut River Point of Naperville, Bluff Point of Orland Park, and Madison Estates of Hinsdale. LuxuryCustomConstruction.com.
AM 560, The Answer. The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're coming to you live from Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. We're on our Passport to Paradise Apple-sponsored vacation excursion extravaganza. We're at the Miraval Distinct Luxury Residences here. That is cigar-friendly, as we've discussed previously. And we're recording this segment for posterity in the event that one of us, or both of us, does not survive the station-planned excursion this week.
Yeah, I want to go on record as saying I think it's a bad idea. I've told Jeff Reisman I think it's a bad idea. The ATVs, we're taking a bunch of 70-plus-year-olds on ATVs through the jungle, up a mountain, and then we're going to go, no, I'm not done, then we're going to go tequila tasting, and then we're going to go swimming in a river, and then we're going to drive the ATVs back home. So what's the over-under on injury?
Well, I mean, I will grant you they may have the order a little bit mixed up, the drinking before the ATVing.
Yeah.
But have you ever done ATVing, or you're always underwater?
No, I'm an ATVer, but I'm not a big fan of ATVs.
Where have you gone ATVing?
Rocky Point, Aurora. Iowa.
Yeah. Iowa.
Cornfield. Polo, Illinois, my friend's farm, the Messer farm. I've been ATVing.
Right. Anything with...
that's rough out there.
Anything with altitude.
No, yeah, there's some berms in the road, but no, with altitude.
I'm not speed bumps, but berms. I mean, like a hill. No,
yeah, Rocky Point. I had to go up a mountain basin. It was death-defying. And if you make the wrong turn, you're going to roll, baby. You're going to roll down that hill because the hill don't care.
The hill doesn't care. That's true because it's inanimate.
And I'm not having a partner on my back, and I'm not driving with anyone. I got to drive myself.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
have you been ATV?
I have in Hawaii.
And?
A few times in mountainous areas. And, it's not like you're doing this like Call of the Wild style where you're just out on your own. The trails, if you've done this, the trails, you have to almost purposely drive over a ravine in order to drive over into a ravine.
Well, I was talking to our program manager, Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
And
you're checking up on your life insurance?
Yeah, no, exactly. But he said something that's so true. You're going to be in the front of the pack, and you're going to take off because you've got a heavy foot there, Mr. Proft. You're going to go, so you're going to put the pedal to the metal.
Right.
And
then you're all going to go over the side like lemmings right behind me. If Dan's going, then that's where we must go.
We're going to go this way.
Right No, it's going to be fun. That's actually fun, and it's fun. I don't know. This is very dry here. But if you ever done it like where at the end of the trail they have like a water, like you go in and you like splash the water, which is why they partly because of the exhaust and the dust, where you make the bandana and the mask.
Yeah, we have to wear a bandana.
But it's cool to get like the full like mud bath. That's kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
That would be fun. And it would be a great. I mean, since I take Tiege Hanley, I don't need a mud bath.
Oh, that's right.
But I mean, use Tiege Hanley. But for you, that might be a nice emollient for the skin.
Well, I'm gonna wear jeans and gym shoes, and we'll be just fine.
And
right?
you're going to have a tequila shooter there.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we'll find out.
So what's the over-under? How many people are going to get injured?
No one is going to be injured. Okay. Stop thinking negatively.
Okay.
Everybody here is perfectly ambulatory and good health and good spirits. They're intelligent, accomplished people.
Okay.
Use their noggins. It's going to be fine. And if it isn't, then we've recorded this segment to memorialize one or more of us. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Miraval Distinct Luxury Residences in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico, on our Passport to Paradise vacation.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're here at CreditRepair.com, the most recognized name in the industry when it comes to resolving credit report issues and getting that credit score up. With me, I got Aaron. Aaron, what happens when people call CreditRepair.com?
A lot. Just one call gets any listener a free credit score, free credit report, and a free personalized credit evaluation right over the phone. In just a few minutes, you'll know exactly what's hurting your credit and get a personalized game plan to help restore it.
And that can make a huge difference when it comes to getting those things that we want, like a new car, a new house, or even a brand new job.
Absolutely. Your credit score is one of the first things lenders look at, and our proven process can help remove those unfair or inaccurate items like late payments and collections from your credit report. In fact, on average, people who have used our service have seen significant improvement in their credit scores month after month.
What are you waiting for? Call CreditRepair.com today. Call 800-851-5318. That's 800-851-5318. 800-851-5318.
AM 560, The Answer.
The Cuervo Gold. Hey, 19.
It's all Greek to me.
You don't know Steely Dan?
I could care less.
You know what Steely Dan,
Here-
the
here's
group,
how
you know
I
what the
listen-
name of the group was named
I don't
for?
care.
You don't care?
No.
You don't care?
I listen to music
Google
and I
it.
either like it or I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not going to waste my time finding out about the players. Who cares? Just
All right.
people who couldn't get jobs and you're good at singing.
Bruce
you know what we
Wolf
call
and
those?
Sean Thompson.
Talk show hosts in their 60s.
In for Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer coming up after the news. The black hole. It is Don Lemon. Finally, no, not. Let me finish the sentence.
I didn't say any of that for all you people up there.
Said that Malaysian Flight 570
went into a black
went into. He speculated that it went into the black hole, and if you look at the photo, you can see that airplane.
I could care less.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Steely Dan. You never finished.
We'll
How'd they do
talk
it?
about you know who knows about Steely Dan?
Mike
Scott.
Knows everything.
But this is not his favorite Steely Dan song.
No, it's not. But we'll take a man trip, all three of us. We'll go see Steely Dan up at Ravinia this summer.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, Donald, fake a breath. Go ahead.
I'm driving. You two can't drive.
That's right, 37. And we have a little peek at the sun right now. Temperatures going up to 58 degrees later today. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is facing possible extradition to the U.S. following his arrest today in London at the Ecuadorian embassy. Assange's attorney confirms that he was arrested on an extradition request from the U.S. British Prime Minister Theresa May is urging Parliament now to come together behind some kind of Brexit compromise as quickly as possible to avoid taking part in European elections set for late May. German Trade Association welcomes the new extension to Britain's Brexit deadline, but says uncertainty is causing protracted problems with Europe's economy. Sudan's military ousted President Omar el-Bashir today, ending a 30-year rule. 30 years in power is ended, according to the military, because of escalating popular protest. The defense minister announced military rule for 2 years. FlightAware tells us this morning almost 600 flights are delayed, additional 450 canceled due to a major spring storm dumping 2 feet of snow on the plains. Weekly jobless claims are down. Figures from the Labor Department show 196,000 Americans filed first-time unemployment benefit claims last week. It's the lowest since October of 1969. Today, a suburban Sleepy Hollow man accused of attacking 2 of his neighbors is due in bond court this morning. Service on the CTA Blue Line is up and running after a train derailed heading into O'Hare last night. A hearing is underway for 4 Chicago police officers fighting their dismissals following accusations they covered up an officer's 2014 fatal shooting of Laquan McDonald. The Bulls season, mercifully, is over after a 125-109 loss to the Sixers. Both of our baseball teams are 3-8. Pirates, a win over the Cubs, and the Rays, 9-1 winners over the White Sox. The news service of Accountemps, when you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today, Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is waiting for the reckoning.
There has to be responsibility taken for how this corrupt, pathetic narrative began. I think the American people demand it. From where I sit, this isn't political revenge. This is a reckoning that is needed to prevent this from ever happening again.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-375-8900, 800-375-8900. That's 800-375-8900.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
8:37, a check on the roads this morning. Let's get the latest on your commute with Jim Talamonte.
In Des Plaines, Wolf Road is closed between Algonquin and Oakton due to a crash. The eastbound Adams Tollway is jammed. Elmhurst Road past Lee with a crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. On Reagan Tollway is heavy. Eola to 355 at Midwest Roosevelt. Veterans Memorial out to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Edens is 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose Kennedy. Hour and 2 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 41 minutes from Montrose. 42 in the Express. Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown, 45 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 36 minutes from 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. A windy day ahead, cloudy and a bit milder. Watch out for a couple of pop-up thunderstorms. Could hit later in the afternoon. We'll top out at 58. Currently, fair skies in Aurora, Lansing, Joliet. So to the south, things are clearing off a bit. Still clouds at O'Hare and 39 degrees. Your next news at 9, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. With Dan and Amy in Mexico, it's Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. You're telling me a story off the air, and it sounds apocryphal to me. I don't think it's true.
A friend of a friend. Yeah, it's very
a
true.
friend of a friend is playing golf with Michael Jordan?
Yeah, this early on in Michael Jordan. You know, Michael Jordan had just retired. He's playing golf. They're at Medina, you know.
Okay.
and they start talking, and Michael Jordan asks him what he does, and he goes on to tell him what he had a trucking thing and all this stuff. And afterwards, he finishes and he looks at Michael Jordan and goes, "What do you do?"
Unbelievable. You know what? It's actually believable because golfers are so into their games. You know what? When I would come home from golf, my wife would say, "So what did you guys talk about?"
Tell you what you don't do.
No, we don't talk about our lives. We're there to play golf, and that's our Masters update right now.
Yeah. Okay. Could tell Michael Jordan what he doesn't do. He doesn't sink a punt when there's money on the line. Worst golfer around.
Well, he was also
loves to gamble.
Loves to gamble, and he, and if he loses, he's knocking on your door the next morning and wants to get his money back if he's even paid his.
Yeah, that's referred to in my neighborhood as a pigeon.
Slim Bueller took advantage of Michael Jordan. That's a name for the past. Quinn, our producer, is coming up with the tweet of the day. So today's tweet comes from Whitney McIntosh. I have to set this up for you. Did you know Lori Loughlin, the fetching actress who tried to get her kids into USC, and what a great scam it was. She thought the DA was bluffing, so she rejected their first plea offer and now faces additional charges. So the tweet is, she thought the DA had a pair of fives, but they really had a full house. Yeah, all right. Actually,
that's you want to talk about selective prosecution. I'm sorry. That's outrageous.
What crime was committed? So I thought I had the tweet of the night last night. The Cubs were playing. It was very cold outside.
No.
So all the players were wearing these masks, and the Pirates have a player named Melky Cabrera, formerly played for the White Sox. So I tweeted, pretty sure Melky Cabrera is one of the guys who attacked Jussie Smollett. So I don't get the rim shot for that.
No, listen, that whole thing. There you go. I love the fact that you went from wrongful prosecution to no prosecution.
There you go.
Are you in on the scam? Then you walk.
All right. Speaking of prosecutions, the top story this morning: Julian Assange was no longer given asylum by the Ecuadorians in London. So they dragged him out of the embassy, and he is under arrest and is going to be extradited, I'm sure, to the United States to face trial. So, and, of course, everybody with common sense knows that Julian Assange hurt the United States terribly. Can I at least get the point out before you rebut it? No. I mean, we're compromising very sensitive information. And
I would demand to be put in a cell with the Full House chick if I were Julian Assange.
So
there you go.
That wouldn't be a bad deal.
2 3 years with her.
So what he did was terrible with Snowden and Manning. But, of course, Sean has a different view of things.
I absolutely and unequivocally do.
How so?
I think you live in an America where we are finding out where it is breaking news that the upper echelon of arguably one of the strongest bureaucracies in the world, the FBI, had a bunch of political sycophant apparatchiks working against who they perceive to be a threat to their agenda, Donald Trump.
Can I buttress your point by just having William Barr say it for you? He's the Attorney General of the United States.
I want to get it on.
Well, they don't know the people don't know what you're talking about.
They never will with you here.
No, but
Go ahead.
You mentioned upper echelon, and that's the phrase that pays. Those are the secret words.
You're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred.
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
Well,
but the question is whether it was predicated. I think there was probably a failure among a group of leaders there at the upper echelon.
Yes, and thank you, Doc Severinsen and the Senate Orchestra. I don't think you needed the music. He's accusing the government of the United States, the upper echelon, of nefarious activities. Now
let's say
sir.
Your life were different and you could do a push-up and join the FBI out of law school. And you being the good conscience, conservative, principled attorney you long to be.
Yes.
You saw this as you worked in the FBI and you toiled away with all of the intention of the Herbert Hoover not knowing he wore his mom's shoes. And you,
J. Edgar, but you're on a roll.
And you knew that something was wrong and you needed a venue to release the information you had.
A whistleblower.
The documentation.
There are means to whistleblow.
Julian Assange gives you that platform.
You don't take it upon yourself to disclose classified information.
So you need the authority of the corrupt to do it, in your world.
If we took what you say to its logical conclusion, we would have told the Nazis that we were going to invade Normandy on June the 6th, 1944.
That's its hyper conclusion. I'm taking it to the appointment that bureaucracies within our government do not have the authority to redact information to the citizen. And
Yes,
in fact,
they do.
there
They
needs
must
to
redact
no, they don't.
authority.
And in fact,
This is a stupid
there
argument.
must be a platform for whistleblowers within the bureaucracy
There is.
to give us the information to prove that these bureaucrats are nothing more than apparatchiks.
There are whistleblower statutes, and that's the proper means.
Yeah, okay.
There's no question. But
so Julian Assange is giving you a proper means
No, he is
without
not.
the finger of the government being pressed upon it.
No, and he should go to jail for the rest of his life.
Oh, there, you're a good slave.
I'm not. I mean, Sean. Look, I love you. You know, you're
All
a
right.
friend.
All right.
I love even the third-hand cigar smoke that you bring.
I got you, baby. You're
It's
not
all
going to offend me.
stained
Let it
into
go.
your shirt. But that is completely nonsensical. It's absurd.
I don't want the New York Post, the Washington Post, the various organizations that we know are interwoven with politicians to be the only source of information I have. I don't like the idea that my only alternative to a very corrupt, infiltrated, social agenda-driven media is another one. I want something that has just give me the info put forward by the people who have it.
I mean,
I don't need your
you're
spin on
basically
it.
saying that the government should be dismantled. There shouldn't be any government. There should be no diplomacy.
I'm saying there should be no government above me.
Sensitive, no government above
No
you.
government.
You should have direct relations with Putin. You should be the one negotiating with him.
He'd be
Every
a-
individual American should own a Polaris nuclear submarine in his backyard.
He should have to he should have to be aware that he has to corrupt more than a few Democrats and a few Republicans to get his agenda forward. Yes, he should have to be afraid of the American public and the information they have.
I'm going to ask Your Honor to use one of my peremptory challenges and get Mr. Thompson off the jury for Julian Assange right now.
I'm in, baby. I'm in. He walks if I'm on.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560 The Answer.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
He is right now in treatment for aggressive brain cancer. So far in his 6 weeks treatment with chemo and radiation, we're on week 5, and his numbers, his labs, are astounding every doctor standing there. We just came back today from the 5th week lab report, and they just don't even know how his labs are looking this good. So I know it's a combination of things. However, one of the key components is Balance of Nature.
From now until April 21st, receive a 20% discount and free shipping on any first order of Balance of Nature. Again, this special radio offer will only be available through April 21st. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
To take advantage of this special discount, use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Refinancing or purchasing a home does not need to be a daunting task. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinancing and purchase deal available and to make sure your transaction closes on time and without headaches. If you're a first-time home buyer, you don't need a large down payment. We have a 1% down payment program, and Townstone will hold your hand the entire way. If this is your second or third purchase or refinance, let Townstone compete for your business. We've been beating the big banks on interest rates and closing costs since 2002. So don't pay too much. Give me a call now at 312-896-2110. The call is free and so is my time. Lastly, have debt that you need to pay off? Let us help with a cash out refinance. Remember, nobody beats Townstone. I guarantee it. And I own the company. So call us now at 312-896-2110. And don't forget to check out our weekly podcast at townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
One of the most frustrating aspects of running a business today is dealing with technology. It's wonderful when it's all working, but what about when it's not? IT networks, computers, you just want to run your business. And hiring an IT department is out of the question. Or is it? For only $795 per month, you can eliminate the hassle of IT and computer issues with Turnkey IT. It'll be like having your own in-house IT department, but better. Turnkey IT makes it happen. They make it secure and they make it smart. You'll be set up for success and not have to deal with all the technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey becomes your IT department and helps you with all your daily IT issues, plus sets you up with preventive steps to keep your business going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know where you stand with technology. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Someday, someone you love will ask for help. And although Lake County Right to Life is not a crisis center, it is an educational and political organization involved in educating the public about current life issues and legislations. They take an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They formed the Lake County PAC to actively work in helping elect local Lake County candidates who are pro-life, pro-family legislators. These people support life-affirming legislation. Please help the cause. A crisis program center saves lives one at a time. Legislation saves thousands of lives. Lake County Right to Life supports women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Good public policy is supposed to protect the most vulnerable and does not impose on a taxpayer to pay for the lesser good, namely abortion. That takes everybody working together. For donations or information, visit lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org.
Gentlemen, are you taking care of your skin? You're probably not. Probably not the way you should, which is why I want to introduce you to Tiege Hanley. It's a Chicago company that is doing something about how men think about and treat their skin. I am one of those men who is rethinking what I'm doing about my skin. Started by 4 guys who know how guys think, the company Tiege Hanley. It's simple, affordable, effective. Also, you don't have to shop. Through their subscription service, all the product is delivered directly to your door. No hidden fees or inflated costs. They have 3 skincare systems. Each include their wash, scrub, and moisturizers with SPF 20. Protect your skin when you're active outside, as we're hopefully entering spring sometime soon. So go right now, go to Tiege.com/DanProft. Use the promo code DAN20, Dan the number 20, and that gets you 20% off your first box. Tiege.com, TIEGE.com/DanProft. Use the promo code DAN20.
When you need heavy equipment to complete challenging projects such as site preparation, utility and sewer, material handling, agricultural, recycling, or commercial snow removal, you just can't beat the price, power, and performance of Hyundai construction equipment from Harding's Heavy Equipment. The Harding family offers sincere individual customer service for heavy equipment to rent or purchase since 1916. Plus, they deliver right to your job site and have trained technicians to take care of the maintenance requirements of all your equipment. Harding's Heavy Equipment is in the business of building relationships with their customers. That's what it's all about. A community business with top quality individual attention and service for over 100 years. When your project needs the reliability and power of Hyundai equipment, work with a true business partner that will be with you after the sale. Call Harding's Heavy Equipment for information and price specials on the Hyundai 5x5 and Edge lease programs. Available for a limited time. Call 219-696-8911 or online at hardingsinc.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. So yesterday, Attorney General William Barr said that there was spying done by the FBI and other agencies. And, of course, the Democratic media governmental complex went apoplectic over this. This is a montage from Tucker Carlson's show last night. Sean, how many talking heads from liberal cable news can you name that we're about to listen to? I want to know how aware you are.
Well, play it, and then I'll let you know.
Well, no, I want you to be clairvoyant and tell me who you think it's going to be.
Go right ahead.
All right, here we go.
There is no evidence to support any allegation that the FBI or any intelligence agency placed a spy in the Trump campaign.
His baseless claims of spies.
The so-called spy issue, first of all, there's absolutely no evidence there was a spy. So it's really a fake issue.
It's this phony baloney story about a spy in the campaign. To call them a conspiracy theory is to give them too much credit. Just fake facts.
All the other people who've seen the intelligence in your own party are saying there's just no there. I'm wondering what it will take for you, Congressman Zeldin, to say he's full of it.
No, there is a there, Gertrude Steinbreath. I don't know who that was. I heard Adam Schiff. I thought he was the first one. Am I right about that? Jeffrey Toobin, I heard him there. You mentioned Don Lemon right on the button. That was him. I don't know who the rest of them. Anybody else know who these people were?
Here's what I do know. I do know hours later, Julian Assange was arrested. And here's my argument that could sum up my whole 4 days here. Okay?
All right.
The citizen that willingly straps on the yoke of tyranny is far more culpable than the tyrant that forces it on.
I'm responsible for Julian Assange.
So the fact that you played CNN and MSNBC, you could have played another couple of stations in there. What we need is a guarantee of a non-ideological driven media.
Shut up. Thank you, Mike Ditka. I know that voice. Okay, remember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who actually pulled this off better than Hillary Clinton did when she decided to use the
I hope it's her nightcap.
The dialect of the area that she was in. Remember when she said this?
This is what organizing looks like.
Right.
This is what building power looks like. This is what changing the country looks like. It's when we choose to show up and occupy the room and talk about the things that matter most.
When did she get to the dialect?
You know,
do I have to listen to her for 2 minutes?
A funny anecdote, and I'm
they
proud
call
to
this
be
all
a
the
bartender.
dialect.
That's the dialect?
They're saying that this is
I just
black
talked
voice.
over
There's
it.
nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
Yeah, all
There
right.
is nothing wrong with preparing the food.
All right, so she started going into the dialect, and I think I talked over her. Sorry, AOC.
And that's what a wife looks like after the honeymoon.
So the she does this, and some people said, "Oh, you can't do that. That's cultural appropriation." And
you're talking about the fact that she's being ethnic with her slang,
right? Some people said that was verbal blackface, but now they've got a new term. It's called code switching. Somehow that sanitizes what she did, but I still don't think it's safe for me to do my Al Jolson impersonation.
As long as you're promoting socialism, you can do
it's
anything.
Okay.
Anything's
Carte blanche. Ted Danson went in blackface. What happened to him?
Well, he was.
Hey, Ralph Northam is still the governor of the state of Virginia.
Can I say something? What is with the Ted Danson years where he's sleeping with Whoopi Goldberg with no eyebrows? Can you figure that out? What was he, kicked in the head by a horse, for God's sakes? How much Viagra and Chevis is there in California that can get you in the mood for Whoopi Goldberg? Jeez. That's a desperado. Even Blagojevich wouldn't do that. He's been locked up for a few years.
Speaking of Rod,
yeah,
I still think
Pookie
Chuck
Blagojevich?
Gowdy, best question I ever heard a Chicago news guy ever do. Totally inappropriate. Rod gets finished with his final news conference, and Chuck Gowdy goes up to Patty and says, "Will you stay with him?"
It's awesome. It's awesome. He should have asked her.
No, I'm horny for you, Chuck.
He should have asked her, will you go from the employment of Tony Resco to the most successful insurance agent in your dad's district? That's the question.
The most inappropriate question ever asked by a Chicago reporter. Will you stick with him?
Did his daughter that dresses like him, did she win? Is she the alderman? Dick Mell's daughter?
Oh, Dick Mell's daughter. Oh, right.
Patty's sister?
Exactly. I haven't lived in Chicago since 1958. Lori Lightfoot, the reformer.
Well, all of the women look like Charlie McCarthy. You should be.
She goes down to Springfield yesterday, the same boilerplate you could have gotten from Rahm Emanuel. She caved on Lincoln Yards, as you pointed out earlier.
Peter Lorre. From now on.
She looks like,
she looks like Peter Lorre.
Yes, Tony Preckwinkle, get me the letters of transit. I
We're
want to get out of here.
We're never going to make it. We're never going to make it.
Peter Lorre.
I love it.
Is the new mayor-elect. Wait, is she taller than Rahm?
No, does it matter at that point? At that point, you're just all representatives of the Lollipop Guild.
Is it like
when you're looking up to me, you got a problem.
When is the last time we had a tall mayor of the city of Chicago? I know Mayor Daley was about 5'3". Jane Byrne couldn't have been much more either.
Well, Lori's wife is Paul Vallis. So
you plagiarized that line from me.
Sure I did.
I don't want to take credit for
and
it.
I made it better.
I'd like to be your writer. Sean, it was such a pleasure being with you
I've
these
had a
4
good
days.
time.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
If my plane's delayed, I'm going to be mad with all
No,
the wind.
so fun. So what, same time next year? Because that's all they'll ever allow us here when Dan and Amy are on vacation.
Well, your Jared all wears off after 5 days. They know they can't commit to more time with you.
It was a blast being with you. And I'll be in the cigar shop one of these days,
I
right?
had fun, yeah. I'll
Can
bring
you
Lou.
have it sometime when Dan is there, too? Because I haven't talked to the guy in a few years.
I don't know. You know, Dan, he does this thing when he's at the cigar house and people come in he don't like. He picks up his computer, puts it in the knapsack, and just walks out the back door. Doesn't say anything to anybody. So I can't guarantee that won't
We'll
happen.
guard the back
All right,
door.
very good.
Anyway, it was a blast being with you. Tomorrow, Carol Roth will be in with me.
Don't interrupt.
On AM 560, The Answer. Let's go into the newsroom right now. Here's Mike Scott.
Bruce and Sean, more Chicago charter schools could go on strike. We'll have an update on that story. A deadly shooting in Calumet City. Former Chicago home of Al Capone is sold, and the Sixers top the Bulls in the season finale. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert.